Live now. Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kevtech here, bringing you another video on information technology. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Saturday, and let's see who joins. I'm just gonna wait to see how till everyone joins. It's actually redirecting me right now, so let's see who joins the live chat. I am excited for today. It should be very, very good. Let me post this everywhere because people are gonna start asking me about it. So give me a second, because people are going to ask me, and I want to put everyone in it. You know, I want everyone to be involved. So just give me a second. My thing acting funny today. I didn't click on that. What's wrong with this thing? Yeah. So just give me a second. Give me a second. I'm just inviting a bunch of people. 398-150. 398-150. All right. Hello, good day, sir. How are you guys doing? Just give me a second. All right, I'm just inviting everyone because there's like so many people that join when I do these things. They told me to upload it live, so I'm over here right now. So give me a second. Live right now. If you'd like to join. All right, so just give me 2 seconds. Hi guys. Hey Steven. Give me a second. I'm waiting for Steven. I'll send the link shortly. Just bear with me. I'm actually in the process of inviting everyone, so just bear with me. I'm gonna send you the link for Zoom shortly. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Just see who joins today. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Hopefully. Hello, Steven. Hopefully, you guys don't hear my fan. I have my fan running right now. It's extremely hot, so it's just I'm like sweating right now. You obviously you don't see it, but I am sweating. My room is extremely hot right now, so I had to turn the fan on because otherwise I'm gonna die over here. So just bear with me. I'm inviting everyone right now, so 398-150. All right. You see who joins. We got 4 people watching right now. According to this, I could be wrong, I could be right. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm messaging everyone because I have to message everyone because people were asking me, hey, Kevin, when you gonna go live again? When you go live? Come on, Kevin. Yeah, I'm wearing a sweater. I know. I'm good though. I have the fan, so I have the fan all over there. So I feel good, ready to go, ready to box. So 39. Okay. All right, guys. Anyone that wants to join is this one. 398-150. 398-150. There we go. All right, there we go. Now you guys could join. I just sent the invite on chat right now, so you can't say I didn't send the invite in chat. So just join me in my quests. Join me. Come on, guys. It's not just me. I can't be the only one here today. I just sent the invite. I'm waiting for everyone to join. Hey, Eddie.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man? It's been a while.
Good to see everybody.
You're echoing.
Oh, sorry, I have you on both channels. Better, right?
Gentlemen, what's up, Eddie? What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Okay.
I have these headphones on. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna take them off. I'm not like Kev. I gotta take these headphones off.
Jesus, already picking Eddie's like stripping already. What the heck? The thing hasn't even started.
Eddie's attacking me as a
Pick it up
headphone
his
guy.
clothes. Of course, we have Kevtech in a sweater and long sleeves, and it's only like 75 degrees maybe in New York right now. But don't let that anybody stop him from being sweaty. Maybe you might want to turn off the camera and put on your muscle shirt. You know what I mean? Tank top.
No, I don't have any muscle, man. The only thing underneath this is fat and and a beer belly.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. What's new? Anything?
I'm gonna put a shirt on.
Ooh, there you go. Eddie's gonna put a shirt on at least,
Eddie's getting ready to strip. You didn't know that, right? Eddie's a bouncer / stripper. I don't know if you know
believe that. Being from LA, you can be anything out there.
Yeah, he's a stripper.
I will be stripping when my girlfriend gets here in a few hours, but
Hey, this is a kid show here. This is like a G-rated.
This is PBS 13. What's wrong with you, Eddie? Come on, man.
He's 13.
What's wrong with you, man? This is like Barney, Caillou, Sesame Street, and Arthur. What's wrong with you, man? Come on, can't be saying that here.
There we go. Oh, look at this.
There he is.
See, look at you.
I was looking. No, I'm all flabby and shit. I was looking for my shirt. I was sitting on it. Hey, Jim, 3 months. It's kind of hard to stay in shape.
His Jeremy Lin, was it Jeremy Lin?
My age.
Was it his Jeremy Lin shirt from New York?
Yeah, it's funny. I go for walks once a day, and I wear the same shirt, so people already kind of know me because it's been 3 months of. They must think I don't do laundry and shower and stuff like that.
That thing just might hang itself up in the corner, right? There's no hanger or anything like. You just put it up there. Take it off, just hang it.
Yeah, I got we finally finished the migration of 150 users, so I'm like relaxed now, I'm very relaxed.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't been going live, because I've been burned out from that. To be honest with you, I've been, it's just too much. I can't.
Get it.
Yeah, like they even gave me an extra day off because I was working like 14 hours every day. It was too much.
Oh.
So yeah, it's rough.
Let's get that little violin out.
Are you hourly? You get paid time and a half for overtime, or are you salary?
I'm hourly.
Oh, nice.
Hourly. They got me hourly for this.
I was here last week. I just didn't put myself on the video. Remember when you guys were having trouble with Steven, what were you guys having trouble with last week?
Group
with
policy. Group policy.
Yeah.
Group policy.
So I kind of stayed out of it, but I was there. I was there for the last hour.
Yeah, Donish kind of helped out. He said that we needed the item to actually target it towards the level of precedence, either the LSDO, which means like local site, was it LSDO, right? Local site, domain, and organization unit, and then the sub or organizational unit. So he kind of like said that to point it towards the whatever you want to point it to in the order of precedence, and that will target it. But I don't know. I agree with it. Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhat.
It's still shady a little bit, I think. Because I think if he would have logged into another computer with another user, it would have still affected that one user or both the users, and because everybody's on the domain. But I didn't want to go into it, so I think it's still a little shady. But
no, that's beyond someone like me trying to get entry level, right? That's beyond scope, no? Of what an entry level IT guy would be trying to do. So that was kind of complicated. You guys were,
No, it wasn't. I mean, you can like mess around with that just at home. I mean, it's
the thing. The thing is, it's not like the way we're talking about it is that it's not supposed to grab the whole OU and the object. It's supposed to just be the object only. So every time you implement group policy, it's doing the whole OU, the domain, and the domain. It's doing both the domain and the OU, and it's supposed to just be the subfolder or the OU only. And that's the issue that we were having, because that doesn't make any sense. Like, how would you implement that in an actual real life environment? Because you have different OUs, you have different departments, and you have different companies or different people and different, different parts of, of that company.
And Eddie, the part that I had too is like, how do you, I mean, you're supposed to put users into groups, right? Yeah. That's the whole idea about, Microsoft's whole entire, schema. So, but what we were doing is that we were moving the users. So we were putting them, moving them from point A to point B. And then to make them again work, point B to point C. We were just jumping him around to group, the group, and it wasn't working. It's like, really, like, you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, you can move, when you move, you're moving them from one container to another, or one OU to another, or one group to another. You can't do that. I mean, you got to add them to like 10, 20, 30, 40 groups if you wanted to, and you should be able to add them, and then it should take effect. Yeah,
and then and it gets more complicated, because then you have users, then you have security groups, then you have the computer itself that you could set up as a group policy as well. It gets very very complicated.
That's why the people that are in charge of that, they perfect.
Like, even they pay someone just to do that. It's just like they have someone that they pay. I don't know if you know this, but they have someone that they pay just to do fake phone calls to your IT company to pretend that they're IT help desk. So your company that does cybersecurity might pay that company to pretend that they're actual people that work help desk, and they'll try to see if they can get any information from any of the employees in that job. But we do that. We pay other companies, and basically they call as a fake IT help desk, and they start asking about all your information, and then we see how much information they can get out of you. But they're not actually IT help desk or anything. They're just fake callers trying to get information from that user or from that client, because we do that as well. And they also do pen testing as well, where basically you pay someone, and basically they try to destroy your I guess your UAT or your environment, and basically they try to destroy it as much as they possibly can, and see what happens when you try to do redundancy and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different companies that do different things, but you could pay people to do certain things. Like, we have someone that handles group policy. They have different departments. You have someone that handles just firewall changes. You might have someone that handles whitelisting. You might have someone that handles cybersecurity.
That's all they do. They do that one thing.
Yeah, they get certified and they get specialized in that one thing, and that's basically what they do. That does happen in some environments. You might have an Exchange AD team, and then inside the Exchange AD team, there's subfolders or sub people that work there, and they all work different things. Like, one does group policy, one does scripting, PowerShell, one deals with SQL servers, one deals with production. It gets a little, depends on the company, because like I said, it could be a big company or a small company. A small company, you would be like SysAdmin / network admin, or you'd be in a large company where you're just doing SysAdmin stuff, and you're just doing SysAdmin stuff. You're not doing networking at all. It's just it varies from company to company. So
Danish did mention when I took his training that there are some people, they just do group policy.
Yes.
I was like,
yes,
really?
they get paid for that, and they get paid like over 100K, because if you change a policy, you end up breaking the whole environment and the domain level. So then what happens is you're gonna start getting a bunch of phone calls.
What happens is that you probably get fired.
Yes.
There's the door. Take it now. You're gone. You didn't know what the heck you're doing. You didn't test out before you rolled it out, or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what they do is they have this thing where they basically they don't do it in production first. They do it in a practice environment before they push something out to a client or to someone. So like right now we're using Zscaler. I don't know if you know what that is, but right now we're using Zscaler. It's with Cisco, and basically it allows you to implement whitelisting and blacklisting. So it basically, Cisco has something called Zscaler, and we're replacing that with Palo Alto, because Palo Alto was doing that before. It was whitelisting, blacklisting, and doing a bunch of stuff on the back end. But now we're removing Palo Alto 100% because we're a Cisco shop with Cisco VPN. So we might as well have a Cisco firewall, Cisco firewall or program that does whitelisting and blacklisting on the internet and the internet protocol side. So basically we block things when you download, we block things when you go to certain websites, we do all that. Palo Alto was doing all that, but now we have Cisco Zscaler. It does all that now. So we're pushing that into everyone's computers now. And what it does is it pulls it installs on your computer. You don't see it. It's running in the task manager in the background. And then basically what you do is you basically install it, and then there's a password in it. You could disable it, enable it. If you do a policy change on that Zscaler, you basically all you do is just click update policy. You open up the program, hit update policy. But you can't close it out of task manager. No matter what you do, it's just part of our policy. You cannot get rid of it. And basically what it does is every time you go to the website, it checks the website to see if it's actually legit, and then it allows you to go to the website. Otherwise, it'll give you a redirection, and it will say this website is blocked by the administrator. Contact your network admin. This is blocked because it's phishing. This is blocked because it's a gambling website, blah, blah, blah. You get something like that. Now, if you have something like Dropbox, for example, if you're trying to download from Dropbox and you're downloading a file or a program, basically what it does is you click the download button, so you download the program, and then what it does is it actually, with Zscaler, so we have all these other programs, you have antiviruses and stuff like that. With Zscaler, it scans it on its own as well, and it basically checks the program to see if it's actually spam, a virus, or whatever. And then basically it allows you to download the program afterwards. So it runs a scan on that file, like that PDF file or Excel or whatever. And then after that, it actually lets you download it. And it tells you like it's going to download it now. It ran the scan successfully. It's going to download it now. It does that now. So this one that we're running right now, like only IT has it. So now we're going to install it on everyone's computer. So it's pretty cool. It's cool. Really, really cool, actually. So
you guys were talking about
like that PDF file or Excel or whatever. And then after that, it actually lets you download it. Steven?
And
it tells you.
What?
Just
that was like
delay.
10-second delay.
10-second delay.
So yesterday, you guys always talk about how people will turn their computer off and you're trying to push updates. So I have a 30-day delay on updating my Windows. And I had 2 updates. I was like, I'm just gonna try to do one. And when I clicked on the damn thing to update, because I had some time yesterday, oh my God. It did like 2 months worth of updates plus some security thing. It was like an hour. It was almost like an hour of the damn thing slowing up my computer. And then that was just, I don't have fast downloads. I only have like 9 or 10 megabits per second. And then after it downloaded the damn thing, then it's got to install it. Man, I was so pissed. But I get that's the calls you guys get, right? People go, "Why is my computer so slow?" I couldn't believe it took so damn long. Then it erased my background image, and now I got a slideshow. I'm like, what the? But anyway, I could go back to a restore point, but I'm just like, just.
You have that problem too, where some people or some users or some clients, they have Windows updates that are pending, and they hit restart later or postpone for 1 day or postpone for 5 days or postpone for 20 days. And they keep doing that over and over again. And until your company finally decides, no, screw it, we're going to install it on your computer. We do that. So like after 20 days or whatever, you can't postpone it anymore. Now you have to install it. You're forced to install it. So we do that. We force you to install it. We don't, like you can only postpone it as much as you possibly can before we install it for you, because we need to do these updates, So that's the issue, that's the thing, so that's the issue. So we postpone it, but eventually you gotta do it. And then you have people that actually in this job, it's not that bad. Everyone does the updates. Everyone replies to the email. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna restart our computer now, blah, blah, blah. But in my other job, they don't restart at all. Like literally like they have updates pending and they haven't updated their computer and they haven't restarted their computer in 150 days or something like that, or 100 days or 90 days. And they're like, why is my computer so slow? And then you literally try to print a document. I'll give you an example. Like someone hasn't restarted their computer in 30 days, right? Yeah. You literally try to print a document and it's a 5-minute delay just to print a document because their memory is clogged up on Task Manager because they haven't restarted in 30 days. So that's an example. Like they literally try to open up Chrome. It takes 10 seconds to open or 20 seconds to open because they haven't restarted in forever. Or they try to click on print and that takes like 5 minutes to print when it's supposed to take a few seconds. Or they try to open up Outlook and Outlook for some whatever reason, it starts doing a repair on Outlook for some weird reason because you get all these weird errors because you haven't restarted in forever. And I think Steve could agree with me. You get these weird error messages when you don't restart in a while. So you get like weird error messages with Excel. Excel cannot open because there's not enough memory to run Excel because you basically you haven't restarted in forever. So you get a bunch of weird error messages. You not enough memory to run these resources of Excel. You cannot open Excel. Or you get another message where Outlook doesn't open and it starts repairing Outlook for some stupid reason. Or you get another message where you can't print anything. Or you get another message where basically the user, because the user hasn't restarted in forever, everything they open takes forever to open. You get another message where basically you get not error message, but you get another problem where basically for example, they move a tab like Chrome from one monitor to like left to right, and that's really, really delayed because they haven't restarted in forever. So like there's like a slight lag, there's like an after image lag from moving left to right because I haven't restarted in forever. So that's why I tell people to restart their computers because like,
you know, another thing too there, Eddie, with what you might find when you go out there in the real world is that when you walk up to a user's computer and they have, you know, Internet Explorer or Chrome, whatever they have on their PC, and they have multiple processes. They have multiple, what's the word I'm looking for? Multiple processes of Internet Explorer. Like they have like 10 of them open or something like that. What people don't realize is that what I found a lot is that they click on IE. They click on IE to open up one web page. They click on IE to open up another web page. They open up IE to click up open up another web page. And I go there, I'm like, why do you have like 6 or 7 of these IEs applications open? Well, because I'm going to look at different web pages. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the way that it was made is that it uses, you know, each one uses its own like memory space. So really what it's intended to do is when you open up Chrome, they have the tabs. You should open up each tab on that one actual application, on that one process. And now it just works better. And I think it utilizes the memory of because actually sometimes if you open up a lot of them, it'll run out of memory. Like I think it'll just, because you're using up more of the subsystem, but the correct way on using it is you open up IE and you go tab, and then they can just minimize the tabs or move the tabs around to go to their different websites. But then what I have them do is I have them close in everything, open up the thing again, go tab, click another tab, another tab. Now use it. And oh, this works a lot better.
But it doesn't work that way sometimes if you don't restart your computer. We have a computer that's not on for 40 days or something like that.
Right. I mean, logic tells you every Friday, restart the darn thing or something like that and go home. A lot of people just lock them and go home.
They don't know what a restart is. They think if you log off your computer, it's a restart. That's not a restart.
That's not a restart.
Yeah, so like I logged off my computer. I restarted my computer. I'm like, that's not a restart. I don't know if you know that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know that. And then
what I always told the people, I'm like, listen, when you restart the computer, it restarts all services, it refreshes the operating system, it clears out all the caches. The computer will probably run better for you. The next day when you log into it to work, it's going to run better. And a lot of people, what they think is that, oh, well, I'm going to lock it and then go home. And then I'm going to log on at night. I'm going to remote in. I'm going to VPN in. I'm going to log into my computer. I'm going to bring up my RDP and log into my computer at home to work through like the VPN. And then all of a sudden they get a help desk call. I can't log in. Oh, okay. Why can't you log in? I don't know. I just locked my computer and went home. All right. So 9 times out of 10, the only way we solved it was I either got the ticket, I remoted, I just sent out a through the command prompt. I just restarted the darn thing through a command prompt, restart the computer, and I said, all right, try it now. Oh, I got back in. So that, it's always good for a person at the end of the day to restart. And if you can teach the users on how to do that, it's pretty simple to do, and just tell them, you lock it. Well, when you lock it, you're locking the services, you're locking the applications, you're locking everything like that. You're just freezing it. And I was just sitting there. Now it's like, okay, now what? You know, is it going to be able to push updates overnight? Maybe not, because maybe, you know, a service just might go down. It just may stop working. Then you walk back in the next day, you control alt delete, you go back in again, and the computer comes back up. Oh yeah, my Outlook's still up and all this stuff. Well, you know, really all that stuff should be shut down. You know, it's something.
If I leave, if I'm a user and I leave my computer and I log off but leave it on, will it run stuff in the back? Can you update it? As long as I leave it, if I just lock the screen, go home, the computer's on. You guys can push updates, right? If it's on, if I log off.
It's supposed to, yeah, it's supposed
to, yes.
No, but if I power off, if I turn it off, it won't do anything.
If you physically turn it off?
Yeah.
No, it will not.
It won't do anything.
Physically turned off.
If physically turned off, you can't do updates, obviously, because you can't push anything.
What they can do is send out this magic packet, and it hits the actual Ethernet card, which turns on the computer.
I read about that. Yeah, it'll turn it on.
Okay. Now, a lot of companies do not do that. A lot of companies don't even know how to do that. They don't have the technology. They don't have the personnel to do that. They just don't do it.
They have this thing called Wake-on-LAN. I don't know if you know what that is. Well, basically, you put the MAC address and the IP address, and you wake it up, and basically you're able to push out a software afterwards. So I do that on some computers. What happens with my computers when I do updates for some computers, they don't work.
Right.
Because the computer is not working properly, and I can't install any updates on it. So what I do is I run the Wake-on-LAN command. Actually, SolarWinds has that, by the way. So a server admin installs SolarWinds on my computer, and I have Wake-on-LAN as a program. And basically, you put the MAC address, you put the IP address, and it wakes up the NIC card, and it allows you to push out updates on that computer. That's something that I've been doing.
But you have to remember now, the Ethernet card dictates that. So
yes.
not every Ethernet card has this Wake-on-LAN. You have to look in the actual settings, and sometimes it's disabled by default. You have to go in and turn it on. And depending on how the company's set up, if they have it on, it's on. I've seen a lot of like computer when I work with companies, it's off because they just don't do it. You know what I mean? But it is there. It is available. Not every network interface card has it. Like your home PCs may not have it. Your business PCs, like Lenovo's, we provide those things for more business related. They'll probably have it. That's spent the money for that.
That's the reason why in my environment, everyone has the same make and model and the same computer and the same policies pushed out to their machine. So we don't have this issue because the Wake-on-LAN is always on for those computers because we only have Dell computers and we only have Windows Surface Pros. Those are only two models we give you. So you either have the option of getting a Surface Pro with a docking station, or we give you a laptop Dell with a docking station, and both of them are set up that way. So obviously in our environment, we don't like to give out different make and models. We just like to use two different models because these are the ones that work for us. If we give you another model, we don't know if it's going to work. So we give out models based on what we have. And obviously, if someone brings up another laptop from another company, we have to test it first before we put it in a live environment with everyone, you know? So,
well, you hope they test it first. Anyway.
Yeah, no, we test it. Like it's my job to test it. So usually what we do. So
what else, Eddie? What else you got?
You don't have any Macs in the house? You're just strictly Windows?
In my job?
Yeah.
In my job, yes, we're mostly 80% Windows, probably like 20% Mac, but that's not even us fixing Mac. It's just us troubleshooting people that are trying to remote into their Windows computer through Citrix. So it's not really like, and it's a silly issue where they're missing Citrix on their computer. They don't have the right version. You have to trust Citrix on Safari. You have to have basically you have to change some settings on the Mac. Citrix DMG is blocked on a Mac, by the way. So you have to go into Gatekeeper on System Preferences and allow it, and then you hit allow it, and then basically you can open up Citrix Receiver and actually install the DMG file. So
what's
by default,
DMG?
it will block it. Gatekeeper blocks that because it's a Mac feature. So Gatekeeper blocks download files depending what kind of file it is. If it doesn't recognize the developer, you have to go into your System Preferences. you have to go into Gatekeeper, and then you have to go into allow apps to download from Apple Store and unknown open sources. You click on that. I mean, obviously you got to click the little lock. You put your password in. You hit the lock. You unlock it. Then you put your password and you hit OK. And then after that, you have to go into that and then you have to allow it. You'll see Citrix.dmg right there. And it says, do you want to allow this device? You hit yes and you hit OK. You put your password in and it starts downloading the program after that. So Gatekeeper blocks that on a Mac machine. So that's something that I usually come across when I'm dealing with Mac, because Mac does not like downloading these random files, especially if they're not from an Apple store. So if you download it from like the Citrix website, you have to allow it first, if that makes sense, because Gatekeeper blocks it. And that's because of Catalina. So Catalina Mac OS X blocks .dmg files from certain websites that are not known to Apple, if that makes sense.
What's a DMG extension? What does that stand for?
I actually don't know, actually.
There you go. And I just
Steven
posted
just
something in there.
typed it in there.
I just posted something in the chat there.
Disk image file.
DMG file extension, Apple disk image file.
But it says for DMG.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't really work
Is
with
it
Macs
D-
too much, so I'm kind of lost on that one too when you started talking about that. So I'm right
What?
there with Daddy.
What are you talking about?
Well, with,
Oh,
with Macs.
the
Yeah.
Zoom group chat, if you look.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. Yeah. So basically, it's because when you because I work with Mac, so I am Apple certified, by the way. So I used to fix Mac machines a long time ago. I don't do that
He's an
anymore.
Apple fanboy.
I know I don't like Mac. Actually, I hate Mac. But I'm an Android guy too, actually. So, but I had to deal with that sometimes where basically they have their own Citrix version. You have to download Citrix Workspace. Then you can't get on their machine. You can't do anything on their computer. Then for some dumb reason, I had this argument with BumGuard. For some dumb reason, BumGuard is blocked on Mac. So you can't do a screen share with BumGuard. So as a workaround, I do a Zoom meeting with someone and I do a screen share with them on Zoom and basically have them share the desktop with me. And then I actually run Zoom on their desktop on a Mac in order for me to fix whatever problem they're having. But for some reason, BumGuard is blocked on a Mac machine. And I spoke with the BumGuard representative and it's blocked. It just doesn't work. It's a screen share application. It doesn't work on Mac. It works on Windows, but it doesn't work on Mac.
Why
Because
should I?
BumGuard is getting blocked by Mac because of Gatekeeper and because of all these other preferences. So you can't do anything on it. So I have to use Zoom in order for me to get on someone's computer on the Mac.
Man,
It's crazy.
Hey Kev, does Mac have a remote desktop protocol? Like its own native one, like a Windows does?
I'm sorry?
Does Mac have its own like remote desktop protocol or remote desktop connection?
Yeah, they do.
Native?
They do.
What's
They
it
do.
called?
It's just literally, it's called remote desktop. It's remote desktop something. It's a Mac remote desktop.
Oh, really?
You go into applications, yeah. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
remote desktop Mac, yeah.
I just never heard of it. But I never seen one before. So
Roger, I don't hate Mac. It's just our company is predominantly Windows. We don't use Mac a lot in my job, so it's not like the world. Like if you go into IT, the whole world uses Windows. You'll come into an environment where they use Mac because they're doing Adobe Photoshop or Premiere or editing, and they do some sort of Adobe Creative Cloud editing. You'll see someone use Mac, but for the most part, everyone uses Windows. So that's the reason why I like Windows, but I don't like Mac as much because I don't use Mac. Why would I? I have a bunch of videos on Mac, by the way. So, but I don't use it in my job. So it doesn't make sense for me to, that's basically because everyone uses Windows. Like the whole world is Windows, not Mac. So
in Hollywood though, because of all of the acting studios,
they use
I
Mac.
think in LA, yeah, there's a lot
They
of
use Mac.
when I look at the jobs, like must know Mac. I'm like, I don't know jack squat about Mac. I got an iPhone. That's about it.
Can you add a Mac to an Active Directory? Yes, you can. And answer your question.
You
Yeah.
can?
Yes, you can. I'll probably make a video on that. Yes, you can.
But you're using what? Parallels? You're using the Windows emulator or?
No, you can just add it.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll make a video on it because people are asking me about it. I'll make a video on it because I know Danish is not a Mac guy, so I'll make a video on it. He hates Mac like me.
Wow.
I'll make a video on it. But But yeah, mostly most part, every company uses Windows. If you're using Mac, it's more like it's more because they do editing, they do video editing, they do they have like these websites where they do like female shopping, like purses and stuff like that. They do pictures and design and stuff like that. You would see someone have an iMac, they would do that. Someone has an iMac and they would do that, but you won't see that in a Windows environment.
So you're buying purses now? I can't see in the back.
No, no, I'm not buying purses,
There we
but
go.
no, I'm buying purses, but yeah,
There
and
we go.
you would see
Right.
you
That
would see a
sweater has to
Mac.
come off, by the way. It's freaking summertime,
What?
right? That sweater has to come off, by the
I
way.
have the fan on right now. I'm good.
It is summertime. You have a long sleeves on, you got a t-shirt underneath, and you wonder why you're sweating.
I'm not sweating. I have a fan on right now.
I understand that, but I mean, really, a sweater, a long sleeve shirt.
Am I making you uncomfortable with my vest?
No, I mean, seriously, come on.
3 layers is too much for you?
This is freaking Saturday. What, are you going to a job interview after this or what?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
I'm interviewing in your channel. I'm trying to get a job in your channel. I'm gonna be a full-time video editor in your channel.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm going to your channel, Steven. I'm gonna be a full-time editor. I'm gonna go to your channel. I'm gonna interview with you.
Sheldon all riled up here. You gotta calm down.
Yeah.
Steven's got one hell of a graphics for his channel. Where'd you get all that stuff from?
The guy Roger helped me out with that.
Oh.
And the guy that I'm training with, or we're doing training with there, I kind of like he kind of came up with that because he's pretty good on the video side.
On the
So he's like, here, try this application out. So I tried it, and then we tried messing around with some 3D effects, and he's like, that looks good. I'm like, yeah, that was cool.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for Steven because he doesn't have a camera that works for his computer.
Cameras, right now it's hard to get a good camera, Kev. I mean, they're all sold out, and the ones that are available like $200-300. Like
I saw a good one for $100 and it comes with its own ring light.
Oh really?
So you get nice,
Yeah, sort of like with
nice
the
light on your face.
Yeah, the thing is that the you have to look at the camera and you have to make sure that it's compatible with the YouTube video, with the YouTube live stream and stuff like that. It doesn't work. Like some cameras don't work. When you try doing live streams and stuff like that, it won't let you use it.
Oh.
That's what we were looking at. As I was troubleshooting on Steven's computer, and he has like one of those old cameras, like
Logitech Pro 5000.
Yeah, he has a
15 years old.
I was on his computer. He was running Windows XP with pinball, and I'm like, "What's going on over here? What is this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to share my screen with you." I'm like, "What the hell is this?" So he was like sharing his screen with me, and then he had Netscape, and it was crazy,
What are you running, Steve? Windows what? You're on 10?
I'm on Windows 10 2004. I actually updated to the new version, and right now I guess Windows has put the brakes on a little bit about pushing this out, because I saw on something on that Twitch channel that all their Surfaces, I guess the Surface laptops that they have out for Microsoft, it's not jiving too well with the actual Surfaces.
Really?
And Microsoft's just found this out, but they had like months and months and months and months of testing, and people are like, "You wouldn't even just test it out with their own equipment." So they're getting some kind of backlash, but I guess they're trying to fix it before they push it out. And because I think if people try, they have those Surface laptops, it goes, "Nope, sorry, it's turned off. You cannot update it." They would not recommend at this time. So, but the 24, I mean, it seems like it's working good. It does. One thing I saw that's kind of cool is now in Task Manager, it says, as far as for the hard drives go, if you look in there, it actually says SSD now for your hard drive.
Really?
So they added that kind of, but I saw like a video on this morning. I mean, the first time I even took a look, but now they actually added like an SSD label or a tag where it says disk. It tells you if you have an SSD in there and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. So they added some good features. I guess Cortana they updated and stuff like that. The search bar, I guess it's different, tabs on and stuff, but it is what it is. I mean, so far it's been working good though for me. I have nothing.
Yeah, I like Windows 10. I thought Windows 7 was very stable. I've been a Windows guy forever, and I mean, Windows 7 was great. I really like Windows 10. I don't really
There was
not
a
Mac
big
has
hate
that
though.
Hmm?
There was a hate for Windows 10 when it first came out. Everyone hated Windows 10. Like why is
Windows
this?
10 or Windows 8?
No, Windows 10. Some
Windows
people
10?
hated Windows 10. Like what the hell? Where's the start menu? Why does it look like that? Why's that white start menu? What the hell is this? You know? And some of the stuff like they had to even Windows 8, like some of the stuff they added like on Windows 8 and Windows 10, like it's just Windows 8 in general. Like they're like when it first started, they're like, what the hell is this? Where the hell is the start menu? What the hell is
Yeah.
this? What the hell is why is this charms? What the hell is this
The
charms
Charms was the
display?
worst.
What the
Yeah.
hell is this? You know,
Yeah,
people
the
get
charm
mad
things
about it.
I thought was stupid. But it's like anything else, though. It's something new. People don't like change. It's just the way human nature is. I mean, people don't like people get comfortable to what they do,
Yeah.
what they look like. They make a whole new, user interface change, freaking UI change. They're like, okay. And then they get used to it. And they're like, oh, I like it now. Or they make it for their other systems. It's not really maybe made for the laptop. It's made for all the Chromebooks or books, other tablets, so, but they can do anything they want. I mean, they're Microsoft. They don't have to ask Eddie or Kevin, hey, do you guys like this? We don't care. We're pushing it out anyway. People will come around. So.
Yeah, and that was the issue with me. That was the issue with me with my other job. Like I had to literally, and then going into Windows 7 and Windows 10, I had to literally remove people's computers. They had like these old Intel computers running Pentium D or whatever, running Pentium, whatever. And then I have to remove them from Windows 7, put them in Windows 10. Then on top of that, I had to put them from Office 2010 to 2016, and it's not the same thing. It looks different. And then they will get pissed off and angry at me because I had to move them to Windows 10 and I had to move them to 2016 because, the classic 2010, people like that. So then, oh, it's not the same as 2016, this is blue and white. I don't like this. I like the old one, and then people will get mad at me. People start spazzing out at me when I remove them from, because Outlook looks different. Excel looks different. Everything looks different. And it's very uncomfortable for the user or the client to be running like going from Office 2010 to 2016 is not the same thing, and you have to retrain them all over again.
But,
and it gets really annoying.
To be fair, Kev, I mean, in a lot of companies, they give people maybe about 6 month notice that they're going from 2010 to 2016. They give them websites to go to, learning modules to say, hey, take a look at this new thing. This is what you're gonna have to click on. Do the users do it? Nope.
You know what's funny, Steven?
You
know what's hilarious? So we moved everyone from 2010 to 2016, right? But before we even did that, we paid Microsoft to come on site to train everyone on Excel, Word, and Outlook and PowerPoint on 2016. Do you know how many people took the class, or you know how many people participated in that? Like 5 people. Wow. And we have 200 people in the company, and they were in the office for 2-3 weeks. Literally 2-3 weeks in the office doing 2-3 hour training sessions for Outlook, Word, Excel 2016, because we're moving them over to 2016 because they're on 2010 and nobody wanted to participate. We pay for it and everything.
And the worst part is that those are the people that will bitch first.
Yes. And then
the classes, or I was too busy to take the class, or whatever this and that. I can't help it. Your manager doesn't say, hey, let's get our group together and let's all go to this so we have a good, for a couple hours out of the day, the company's not going to freaking go down the darn tubes. Let's go down there. Let's learn something. And then at least it's, in your mind, you can go home. Maybe you can look about it. So when it does hit, it's not like, oh, now all of a sudden you're calling up the help desk. Now you're calling Kev. You're trying to figure out stuff. All that downtime could be like 4 or 5 hours until you get unraveled. You're like, oh my God. Well, those 2 hours maybe of training could have said, hey, I know what I'm doing, and click, click, click. Oh, this actually looks familiar to me. So I don't understand about the training part. I'll never get that wrapped around my head. I mean, if someone offers training, go to it. I mean, if it's an hour or whatever, it's good training. At least your eyes will say, hey, I've seen that before. Maybe you're not going to go home and go, I'm going to look all up 2016 or Windows 10. Nobody in their right mind is probably going to do that if they're not into it. But if it's offered, they should go. And managers just don't do it. I mean, a lot of companies don't, and it's a shame. But again, It's all about money. But when they're all sitting around and they're like, they're yelling, I can't do this. And the manager looks over like, what are you doing? I don't know what to click on. All of a sudden, then that's more, I think, more like production downtime than you would maybe having that hour of training. I guess in their minds, it looks good, but I don't know. I just never understood that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was gonna say how we did it was, Eddie. We basically, what we did is, obviously, since you have 200 people, right? We're not gonna move everyone over. We're not gonna move over 200 people at the same time. So what we did was, I moved over 4 or 5 people every day. So that's what I did. So I moved over 4 or 5 people every day until we did everyone on the list. And then as I moved them over, I would send them an email. I would send them an email on how to use Outlook, how to use Word, Excel. Did anyone check my emails? No. And then I had to go into their desk or wherever they're sitting, and I had to spend 20 minutes, 15 minutes showing them how to use stuff. And also, when you're dealing with a user or a customer or a client, you have to keep in mind that when you're moving someone over from 2010 to 2016, the user has their own personal preferences. So when you open up Outlook, for example, they're like, no, I want the ribbon over here. The preview tab, I want it on the bottom. No, I want it on the right. No, I want the subject line to show up. I want this to show up. These emails were showing up black before. Why are they showing up blue? You know, why have this unread tab over here? Why have show favorites over here? Why do I have this over here? What happened to my calendar? Where the hell is my calendar? Where's my share calendars? Why are there no share calendars here? You know, where's the plugins for? Where's my Adobe plugin for Outlook?
you know,
Where's my
also,
plugin? You know, get all this crazy stuff. That's
also too, that may not make them do their job properly.
Yeah, so that's the thing as well. You gotta have patience.
Different color or something.
You gotta have patience with that. Yeah, you gotta have patience with that, because what happens is you sit down with someone, they look at Outlook, just like, this looks nothing like 2010, and then they look at it and they're like, we spent like 15, 20 minutes, maybe more. I don't know. Depends on the person. They're like, this is not working. This is not showing up. This tab is missing. Where's my signature? My signature is not on the new Outlook when I create a new email. What the hell happened here? Where's my rules? Why are my rules missing? My email used to go to that folder. Now it's not doing that.
Those are probably the hardest parts.
You know?
There.
So you have all these different issues when you're moving someone from 2010 to 2016. It's not easy. Like, it's not like, oh, you're just gonna move them over. You know, it doesn't work that way. You have to literally sit down with the person and then show them how to use Outlook, set up the preferences the way they want it. And then obviously for some users or some clients or some people, they want certain tabs to be a certain way. And when you manipulate it and make it look like it was 2010, which you can't do, it's impossible, you know?
But Kev, I mean, you got to figure, you do all that stuff, you're spending like a half an hour, 45 minutes with one user.
Yeah.
Now, those other 4 users are going, oh, I want this done too. So it's almost like 5 hours for 5 people. And it's like, you can't babysit every single, somewhere along the line, communication, emails, training, whatever has to come into play where, you know, all that months of preparing, and then it's going to hit. And then the user can't turn around going, what is all this stuff? You're like, well, what about all the emails that were sent out? What about all the communications with your manager? What about this? What about that? Have you guys got any of that? No, but then it looks bad on you though. It comes back to you going, well, you guys made the change. You made my change to my computer. You need to tell me on how to work my computer. I actually had that up on my old, at the old insurance job. They're like, well, you need to teach me about this. Like, I'm not going to sit down with you and teach this. What I'll do is maybe I'll make some pamphlets up. I'll print them out and go, here, this is how you walk through Word. This is how you walk through Excel again. You know, you don't have time to do that, to hold their hands. That's where a company, that's where the whole team effort, everybody has to be on the same page. Like, this is going to happen on this date. This is what you're going to see. This is what's going to be different. If people just work and boom, they're not ready for it. It's hard. It's hard on us to try and to serve the customer, I think. But I've seen that a lot with all these migrations. Like, people are like, well, what is this? I'm like, it's Windows 10. Well, how do you open it up? I'm like, well, you click on the start button and then you find your stuff. Oh, but then how do I do this and that? And it's like, you know, you can say, you know, hey, I can spend all day with you, but, you know, your bosses are going to say, what the heck are you doing? You know,
yeah,
why
the thing is that they already pay for training. and the training is there and you have to do the training. But the thing is that you have to go into individual people and show them how to use this program or application. And you have other things you have to do. Like you're working on creating a new account for a new hire, or you're helping somebody else, someone is having another IT issue. You don't have time for this. That's the issue. People won't talk about it, but that's the reality of IT. Sometimes we send all these emails and people don't follow the emails. Like they look at it, and I asked, like, I had this issue with someone. I'm like, yeah, did you see my email? Oh yeah, I deleted it, Kevin. I didn't look at your email. I deleted it. So I'm like really, and then even the CEO, because I understand maybe the CEO sent an email. They don't even listen to that either. The CEO could send an email and like, whatever, I don't care, because it doesn't do anything. And then when you finally move them over and transition them to something else, then they'll start complaining. They'll start complaining about everything, and then you get in trouble for that, because you just get in trouble for it, because you get in trouble for it. They have to blame somebody, right? They're gonna blame IT. For it.
You can send out all the emails you want, Ed, right? But then all of a sudden they'll say, okay, the emails are not working, so let's broadcast it up on the intranet page, on the homepage of the company's website. When you first log in, you open up Internet Explorer, you have your homepage pop up. Let's broadcast it, bold letters right there, what is coming. Do you think they read that? No, they just close that out and move on to something else. And it happens a lot. I mean, hopefully the job that maybe you get, your company will be perfect. But just remember these conversations going, yeah, look at that. No one's paying attention because nobody cares about IT. They only care about IT when it doesn't work. That's the only time people care, the users care. Other than that, they want to open up the computer, make sure everything's where it's at, click, 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 click. I can do my job, boom, 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 systematically, close it at the end of the day and go home, come back in again. If something's changed, I'm calling up Kev, going, Kev, what did you do last night? Or what do you mean? My computer's different. Why? Now he has to answer why, when maybe there was a communication that went out like 2 days ago saying that this update was going to put, it just goes on and on. But that's part of real IT. I mean, learning the technical stuff is good, but you got to come into all these other different kind of things that pop up, and just what happens.
Yeah, you have to communicate with the client, with the user. You have to know what's going on. It's communication. It's
sometimes communications don't work though, Kev. I mean, you can communicate all you want, and it still fails.
It depends. Like we said, it depends on the environment, though. Like it depends on the company. Like if your company has everything stable and they communicate with the user, they communicate with the client, then you won't have any issues.
Well, a hospital, you think that would be stable, right? I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, the hospital that I used to work at was huge, and PC migration was going on.
Yeah.
And the people or PC refresh also. Do you think it was communicated properly? No way. We got there to like, what are you doing here? Or I heard us swap out your PC. What do you mean? You got an email about it. No, we did not. We don't know anything about this. It's like, all right, what do you want me to do? Leave. You're not going to touch my darn PC. It's like, all right, see you later. Bye. Because what else are you going to do? Just swap it out when when the user doesn't want it? So you have to go back, tell the boss. They get in contact with their manager, then they set it up again. We go out again. We try the swap out or the migration, and then life moves on. So it might work in your world, Kev, but in these bigger companies, let me tell you, communication these days, even though you have everything in the world, it seems like it falls on deaf ears.
I mean, I work in a hedge fund environment. So if you don't follow instructions or direction, they'll get in trouble by their own manager. Like right now, like that. Seriously, like this happens.
I mean,
in my other jobs, no. So in other jobs, I have the same issue that you have, where basically people just don't write emails. They delete emails. They don't follow instructions. And instead of following instructions, they actually accidentally break something on their computer, and they have to figure out why the hell that happened on their computer. Either that or they complain like, I didn't tell you to move me over to 2016. I didn't tell you to move me over to Windows 10. I don't want you to take away my computer. What are you taking away my computer for? I didn't tell you to do this. Why are you moving my desk? What are you doing? Why are you moving me to a different table or a different office? Like everything. They complain about everything. So
yeah, you have to love those days too when you get moves and you walk into somebody to move them the day of, and they have no idea.
Yeah, but
Oh my God. It's like, do we look stupid? It's like, well, where are we moving to? I'm moving you with him. He's coming over to your desk. We're swapping you guys out. All of a sudden, then they get in an uproar and they go to their manager in Boston. We're like, all right, I guess we're not going to do it. See you later. Or, stuff like that. It's the little things, but you figure it would have been hashed out a couple of days last week already. Hey, Eddie, I'm moving you on Friday, 12 o'clock. I'm having people come here. They got to drive there. They have to get out of their car. They got to walk in. They got to stand there. They got to use their computer. They're getting their resources are there on the ground to help you out. And then all of a sudden, the communication in that area is not done. You got to turn around, go back home, go back to the next one, go back to the other office, whatever, and say the user didn't want to move today. And then you got to explain to your boss why.
I think Baza Guru wanted to ask a question.
hey, Roger.
Hey, Raja.
What's up, Roger? How you doing, man? You're not saying anything. You're muted.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm just being camera shy. I'm just listening here. I just started following you, Kev. That's why I'm here. Like about 2 weeks ago, I think. I've been in IT. I got some Google certifications. I'm just trying to see what you guys are up to. See if I can learn something here, a thing or two. Find a path for myself.
What do you want to learn? Ask us a question.
I really don't know, but I do know a little bit.
Try to lower your mic a lot. Is your mic really loud? Or am I imagining things?
It's a little weird. Yeah.
It's a little weird.
I'm using some speakers. That's why. Let me turn these speakers off.
It
I
does
think
look
that's
Yeah, it sounds weird. Sound like robotic for some reason.
Okay, there we go. Could you hear
There
me?
we go.
All right. No, what I'm trying to learn specifically right now is just a little bit of coding, but I'm following you, so I'm learning a little bit of like Helpdesk stuff. But I'm also focusing on Java, not JavaScript, just Java.
Coffee? Oh, never mind.
No. Yeah, just Java, and that's it.
Got it.
Well, that's good. Yeah, Java I don't know much about, so.
Yeah, you learn. So are you doing C++? You know what? Do you know anything about Anaconda?
No, I haven't tried any of that yet.
C#?
No, nothing.
No. Okay.
Nothing yet. I did a little bit of HTML.
CSS, HTML.
You like it so far?
It's hard, and I do like it, but I'm not enjoying it because I don't understand it yet.
Yeah, I'm not a coder myself. I don't like coding, but man, do what you like. If you like it, do it, man. Definitely do it.
So
Oh, yeah.
what got you into that, if I may ask? Like what got you into the coding side of it?
Well, I was in Lehman College, and I just graduated from a community college, and I got my associates on liberal arts, and I didn't know what the heck to do after that. And I just jumped into computer science, and like I like the community so far, and I want to keep going into it.
Are you planning on doing like a boot camp or something like that, or?
Boot camps are a little expensive, so not yet. I do want to learn on my own and before I invest my money into boot camp or anything like that.
The best advice I could give you, since you're doing software developer, is to create your own website and create out your own portfolio. And then when you create your own portfolio and your own website, put it on your resume as a link. So then when you click on the link, it redirects you to the website or the job that you have done for that website, if that makes sense. So basically you create your own production, like your own little website, and it shows that you showcase your work on a portfolio level, but through your resume. So basically you create a hyperlink, and basically you click on the so like these are the projects I've done. I created such and such website, and then you click on the hyperlink, and it redirects you to the website that you created using coding techniques. And basically, that would be something that will make you stand out if you're doing software developing. That's something you would be, you should do. Because I've seen resumes from software developers, and I'm subscribed to a lot of software developers, and basically they tell people to do that. So they tell people to create their portfolios, but also do hands-on training and create their own websites and stuff like that. So I recommend doing that. If you're going to get into software developing, create a portfolio and then showcase your work and create websites and stuff like that. And put it on a hyperlink, like I said, and that way you could, when you go on a job interview or whatever, you could show that in the job interview. You could show what you actually know what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And on that, I can find information. I use the app Solo Learn right now. Is that a good?
Yes. Yeah, so all these like, so like, you know, like every company, they use keywords to search for jobs and stuff, like to search for candidates. So all these keywords you put on your resume does help. But also the portfolio part of it, like I said, if you could showcase what you do as an individual, and if you could showcase your skills by creating a website, then we create the website with the template and everything. And also inside that website, if you could somehow add like your LinkedIn in there, add like for example like special effects and stuff like that. You could do all that and you can put it on your resume. That will help you. That will help you stand out when you're going for a job interview or when you're looking for jobs and stuff like that. That's based on my knowledge from what I learned from other software developers. That's usually what they do. And I think we lost Roger. Roger's like frozen for some reason. Am I imagining things?
Yeah, we got his profile.
What happened to Baza? I thought
Yeah.
Baza Guru.
Vaza, what's up, Vaza? You have a question?
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, everyone. Actually, my name is Sherry. I just kept my name as a Baza on that. I have a question regarding the network printer issue. Maybe you guys have, troubleshoot the network printer issue. When I was working in my previous job, we had one problem with a printer, network printer. The problem was, the staff, when they scan the document, and then they can, save directly to the, shared drive, right? So when they try to, send it directly to the shared drive, they were not able to send it. So they had to, scan all those bunch of documents and then send it to their email, and then they, save it to the W drive so they can share it to other people. Do you know what is the exact issue with the network printer? Why it is not able to, scan and send directly to the shared drive?
That's an issue with the settings on the network printer. So you got to do is you got to log in with the IP address of the printer, and then you got to go into the admin console and you got to change the settings of the FTP and how the settings are set up for the shared drive. That's what that issue is. So you have to go into the admin settings on the printer and change the setting and how it scans and redirects the shared drive. And how would you troubleshoot that? If you have another printer in the office that does the same thing and it works, I would basically mirror that one and copy it from that one to this one, if that makes sense. So basically, I'll go into a working example. So if I have another printer that does the same functionality that scans to the shared drive, I will literally go to the other printer, look at the settings on that printer, and just copy it over to this printer, and then that way the other printer should work. Does that make sense? Basically, you get a working example. So what I always do when I create a new account, when I create a new printer, when I do anything in IT, I look for a working example. So if you go into another printer or another system, so you're gonna have another printer. I'm pretty sure that does that already. So if you go to another printer that does the same thing and it works, then just copy that one. It has to be some sort of admin settings inside the printer through IP address. So you have to connect through the IP address, and you have to have the right shared drive redirection. It has to be the right redirection to shared drives, but also you have to allow certain ports that go in and out. Otherwise, it doesn't work. There has to be certain ports and certain settings configuration on that printer. It's not an issue with the network. It's an issue with the settings on that printer. That's what that issue is. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, now I understood. Thank you. And my other question is, I have one more question about the mobile device connectivity, the Wi-Fi one. Do you guys, install the Wi-Fi certificate on the mobile when you get a new hire? How, like in our company, when we had a new hire, we showed them a phone, right? They set up the phone and the email and stuff, and then install the Wi-Fi certificate, and then add it to the, install the Zan app, then add that device, add that mobile to the Zan, I think Zan application in the system. Do you guys do that? What's your,
Yeah, that's what we do. So that is MDM. So that is mobile device management. So some companies use some companies use Mobile Iron. Some companies use MOS 360. Some companies use AirWatch. and some other companies use other things. So yeah, that's MDM. So basically what you do is you have to go to a website or URL or download a specific file or download a specific app like Mobile Iron, for example. And basically you put the username, the password of the user, the username and their password. Then you put the domain as well. You log into it. When you log into this portal or how it's set up in your environment, it starts downloading the certificates. So depending on how the environment is set up, some companies have a certificate for Wi-Fi. So then when you install the certificate, it would add this phone or that mobile phone to the Wi-Fi of the company Wi-Fi, and it should work after that. It will add the company Wi-Fi to it, and then you go next. You put all the certificates in. You install the MDM profile and everything. So if you know it's fully installed, you can go into your settings. You go into the iPhone settings, for example. You go into General. If you go to General and you scroll all the way down, and there's something called Profile. You click on Profile. When you click on Profile, you click on that. It's going to show all the certificates that are installed. So one of them will be Wi-Fi. One would be like the domain controller, the domain that you're connected to, and a few other ones as well. But yeah, we do that as well. I'm familiar with that. That's that. And also it depends on your environment too, because some phones do not support MDM. So if your company is not on the latest technology, then some of your phones might not work when you install MDM on that phone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we use MDM in my previous job. And do you know, is there any duration for the Wi-Fi certificate? Like, how do you track that Wi-Fi certificate is getting expired? Sometimes you get a call from users saying that, oh, my Wi-Fi is not working. So when I check that, I see Wi-Fi certificate is expired. So I have to install it again. I do that. I do that, but I just want to, I just want to know how you track, that certificate is getting expired soon, like is there any system where you can check, which user certificate is getting expired soon in a week or in a 2 weeks?
That's your company. So like if you work with Mobile Iron, you have a login portal, basically that manages mobile devices. You log into that portal, and then you can check to see what devices have certificates that are invalid on Wi-Fi. So if you have access to do that and see that, then you should be able to see that. But you don't have a login for that, you can't see that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also to fix that certificate error on Wi-Fi, what you gotta do is you gotta basically there's an option. I'm not sure what company you're using for MDM. There's an option in company for MDM. You could go and check for the latest updates on the application. That usually fixes the Wi-Fi issue if you have a Wi-Fi certificate error. So you could check that as well.
Okay,
I gotta make a video on that. I will make a video on MDM at some point. So.
Okay, thank you. And
hey, Danish.
So many questions.
Oh, the boss is here. Danish is in the building.
The other question.
Yeah, so what's the difference? Some user has a hardware token and some has a, like a software token, which they have like app they install. They have a, app they can check their code from that, code number from that application. Some people, they has a RSA token.
Yeah,
so how company are giving, different things to, to the users?
It depends on your environment. So some companies use dual mobile, and then some companies use tokens. So basically a token is a little key fob token thing that you carry with you. And you put it on your keychain, and it gives you a certain digit code, and the code changes every 60 seconds. So you would put a password and then the code with the password, and then you connect to VPN or you connect to a Citrix website. Some companies use a hard token. That's a hard token. The difference between that and a soft token is that a hard token you physically carry with you, attached to your keychain or attached with you. You carry it. It's an object you carry with you. The soft token is not the same thing. Soft token is installed on your phone, your mobile phone, and basically it gives you a code, and you log in through your mobile phone. You basically get the code and you put it on the website or wherever you're going into. So soft token is when you have it on your phone, and then hard token is a key fob or some sort of key fob that's provided by RSA or provided by dual mobile. They give you like a little key fob that's attached to your keychain or whatever. So
okay, thank you, Kevin.
Yep. Yeah, so with basically dual mobile does the same thing. There's a hard token of dual mobile that does the same thing, and there's a soft token, which is the one you download on your phone. And then obviously when you download the soft token on your phone, This is managed by your company. So your IT provider, whatever,
Yes.
they actually manage that. So when you download Dual Mobile or RSA, it's managed by your company. So when they manage your device, they could actually delete your device. You could delete your phone. They could reinstall your phone. You can do whatever they want with your phone. So it depends how they have it set up in their environment. Every company is different, but basically, yeah, they're able to manage your phone. So
Oh, and how do you like? What kind of troubleshoot you do in the Zoom? Like, so these days people are using Zoom, right? So what IT support? Like people, what kind of work they do for the Zoom? What is the common problem? Is it same as the Skype business? Like
for using what?
Skype. Is it same as the these days people are using Zoom, right? So we used to like people started using Zoom more now. So what kind of problem is the common in like the common ticket for this Zoom?
I haven't had any weird issues with Zoom. Surprisingly, the only
Yeah.
issues I have with Zoom is basically people missing equipment. So they don't have a camera. Their laptop is not set up for the sound settings. You guys just change the sound settings to allow the camera to work, to allow their microphone to work. But that's about it. I don't have issues with Zoom. I don't really have any Zoom
But
issues.
in Skype business, we have contact list of our colleague, right? But in Zoom, do they have like that same features?
For what?
For the Zoom, do they have the same features like the contact list? Like in Skype business, we have a contact list, right? Like we can add, our coworker in the Skype business. But in the Zoom, does that has a feature of same as Skype?
So Zoom, there's a Zoom plugin that works with Skype. I don't know if you know that, but there's a download plugin for Zoom that works with Skype. And you can install the Zoom plugin on Outlook, and then it basically grabs your address book and puts it on Zoom. And then you can open up Zoom and actually invite people from Skype. It has that. Because I use Skype and Zoom in my job. I use both. So we have that integrated in our system.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Danish.
Hey, how are you? I'm sorry, I'm on Zoom. I am on Fios. Sorry, now I'm on LTE right now. So the good thing is that this is the first time I'm using Zoom on LTE, which I wanted to test. Can you guys like hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
good?
Yes.
Wow, looks good.
Okay. Hey,
You
that's
even
not
look 10
bad.
pounds lighter.
I see a clearer beer. Like it's glowing. The beer is glowing. Yeah, like Superman. It's just glowing. Ooh.
So what happened is that for the last 1 week, we would lose a connection. So from like Fios, right? And somehow I thought maybe it was my router first. So I checked my router. Okay. Normal troubleshooting process. You check maybe if it's not getting an IP address correctly and stuff like that, right? So I did the reset, I started it again, and then, okay, I figured out that this is not our router, because the quick way to find out if it's your router or not is if your internet Wi-Fi connections internally, can they work? Can you access your internal servers like local IP addresses? Can you access that? It works because from the Wi-Fi, from the LAN, there's no networking issues inside. So I called them. They came back. They were like, okay, maybe it's your OMT box, right? That box that you have in your home, depending on what kind of system you use, you have this reset button right there. So you hold that reset button for 20 seconds and then you'll release that. So what happened, it goes out of your house or your building, whatever it is, it's gonna go and reset the whole connection as for an IP address from your provider. So what happened is that, okay, I'm not getting that IP address. The guy was like, I don't know. This is your connections to your where it terminates. I can even get to that place, but I cannot get to your like house OMT box. So I'm like, yeah, it's an issue on you. So they're like, okay, no problem. We'll send somebody. So they'll dispatch a person, and they'll dispatch a person by tomorrow. And after 6 hours, I'll get, oh, your internet is back again. Do you want us to cancel this appointment? So I was like, yeah, I was happy as I canceled it because I don't want people to be coming in because of this whole COVID stuff, right? So, hey, we got the connection. Then after 2 days, it went back again. It went out again. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's a glitch again. I did the same process. They dispatch, and then next time. Then I was like, maybe I shouldn't take another risk. Let me just cancel this one too because it came back up again. Today, third time, it happened again. I was like, no. I need a person now. Bring them now.
Did they unlock your account?
Unlock my account. it's not locked or anything.
Did they do a password reset?
Oh yeah, okay, in IT, yeah, they did.
Did you call Helpdesk?
Man, these guys are nice, by the way. I mean, they're working from home. I'm like, you guys are working from home too. How's the calls and everything? They're like, there's not too many calls, or it's not that much. You would think maybe people are all home and just using internet like crazy. You may, no, it's like, okay, we're not that bad. And it's just that the issues that you're having is very strange, and it's probably the box. It's probably the box that's just outside and it's not working correctly. And I do need this because I provide trainings and everything now from I don't go to my office anymore. So hey, I'm relying on this stuff now. So what I did, I started looking for a backup now. So the backup is, the way it works is that you buy an LTE, or depending on how much money you want to spend, but I want a backup at least that can give me 15 Mbps easily, right? That's not a bad connection when you do like Zoom. Right now I'm on 8 Mbps, probably 8 or 6. So up and down, probably 8 or 6 around that. And if I get like around 15, I can provide all the training with this, no problem at all. I mean, that's why I want to like, can you guys hear me with my camera and everything? If you guys are hearing me clearly, then
you sound good. You sound good.
Even with that, I mean, wow, that's good, because I'm using what? I'm using my LTE right now. Hey, LTE to the rescue. That's why you guys need this.
Yeah, you sound good, man. You sound loud and clear. You sound good.
Hey, I think Roger had a question. Roger, you got to be a little aggressive in here. I mean, we appreciate you not jumping in over people, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want me to dance? Is that what you're?
No, I was asking Kev that same question. I asked you before, but I forgot what answer you gave me. It's been a while.
You want me to dance? Let me know, man. Let me
No,
know.
no,
Danish is here now. I'll dance. Danish is here. I'll dance. Let me know.
Oh, with Danish?
Yeah, as soon as Danish joins, I start dancing. But that's different,
Es el jefe ahí.
Yeah, that's that. I was waiting for Danish to join because we do this TikTok dance videos, but we don't talk about it.
I don't know how many Desis are listening to us. I do Bangla dance. I don't know how many Desis. Desis are like the Pakistani Indians, and we do this.
Roger, if you want to ask a good question about the coding, maybe Danish is a good person to ask a question about that coding. He might have a little more insight.
Yeah, I understand. Has some coding
he has some of the background on that stuff.
Hey, why you guys gotta throw hard questions on this side?
He has some pretty interesting questions.
You could ask him when's his birthday too. You just ask him a little bit weird random questions.
No, I actually because I'm in the Department of Education right now.
Me too, man. I was before.
That's exactly why I wanna ask you, like, how do I move over? Because I'm a teacher assistant, and like I want to move over to IT or something else, something computer related.
Yeah, so you gotta get your hands, you gotta get your feet wet first. So you gotta do I told Danish was gonna agree with me. You need to know you need to do hands-on training. So basically, you if you have the money, or if your computer is able to handle it, you should be able to run virtual labs on your computer. So what I'll do is I put like server 2016 on a VM, and then I run Active Directory, Exchange, run all these things basically on your desktop. If you your computer is able to handle it, that's the alternative. The other way would be is if you go to Microsoft Azure, you could do it for free for 30 days, and you can learn it on your own through there as well. Or you could take the other route and actually take a full-blown course, which Danish has. You go to Danish, and Danish has a full-blown course, and he'll show you the ropes, and then basically you could learn everything from beginning to the end. But I'm like Danish is the same way with me. Danish, I'm balanced, so I believe you should have a fundamental of A+, the CompTIA A+. If you don't have that certification, that's fine. If you can't afford it, that's fine. If you get the hands-on training, that's what I recommend. Do the hands-on training and learn from that, and put those skills in your resume, and then you should be able to get a job after that. But Danish has courses on his website, and he could help you with that as well. So you have to be balanced. You have to know a little bit of everything.
So Roger, the way we start with this, like first we tell people to give it a try yourself, like free isn't not like, it's not like some kind of cheap versus something like that. It's free is something that we have done for so many years, and people have finished our free content and got the jobs and basically they got into the market like that. And maybe later on you can decide if that's not working for you, then you should be looking at more investment. But for now, let me share this link with you, which Kevtech is a part of this whole free content area, because we collaborate with each other. So I'll share you this link basically, and that's something that should be your first start for you, because you need to now, there's too many questions that you have in transition, right? So
Yeah.
that question has to be answered first. So the way we have done that in the free content, it's a step-by-step, like a sequential process. So you get to, like, first you will finish all the questions part of it, fundamentals, career stuff, and that's in the videos. Then you move on to technical, while you can actually use it on your resume. Exactly what you're gonna see the Kevtech videos, and you're gonna be able to kind of like grasp all of this information in a proper way, basically, because it's too much. It's too much for this video, basically, because you say transition in is very big right there, and that's why we created this whole thing for you.
And it's gonna be hard for me to answer too, because like I could make probably like a 5-hour video on that, because I don't know where you're at right now and everything. So I have to go and, you know, it has to be like a lot. Very involved.
Here's in the chat, I send this link. Just copy that link, register with the free account on JobSkillShare, and start with that link. That link is basically your answer. I'll just say that link is your answer, basically. You start with that link, because in that link, what happened is that you start with step 1, step 2, step 3. Now, since you're a part of this live session, one of the thing about this live session is that whoever takes a live session with Kevtech, they get access to our step 1 course for free, which is $9. You don't have to pay that. So all you got to do is just send me an email that I registered. I was a part of this, this live session. So I add you into this course, and you get this nice foundational start. The rest, everything gets answered automatically. All of these answers, the questions you're asking right now, will be answered in these courses. Because they're made that way.
Yeah, and then you could always join our live sessions, or you could email me or whatever. You know, we do help. Like, it's not like we're gonna ignore you. You know, like just email us. You know, obviously, you know, email me at the regular time. You know, not like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I'm not gonna answer you at that time. But, you know, you could email us. And
then also too, I mean, Eddie has been taking the course, so if you can always, you know, ask him some questions as well, since he's doing the courses.
Yeah, finished
a good
this
way
course.
to know, you know, give you some insight of what you're going to be maybe seeing if you do decide to go his route.
Yeah, Eddie's been doing the courses, and it's been really helping. And he's actually like he does. So we do live training on Saturdays usually, but I haven't been doing it because I've been super busy. But usually when we do them, Eddie participates in the live training, and
I participate or I get picked on. Which one?
Oh, yeah. Let's not say that. Yeah. So, but then he basically, you know, no, but like all seriousness, like because of the training that he does, he knows how to answer the question. Like when we start doing IT training, he knows how to answer the question. So you know that, because that's really important that you understand what you're doing. You know, it's not like you're just resetting passwords or whatever. You know, you have to understand what you're doing. You have to know how to explain it. You know, so it's very important that you know how to do those things. You know.
I started out with the free classes, Roger. I went to, you know, Danish's site, JobSkillShare. I didn't know him before that. And I did a bunch of his free stuff. There's a lot of free stuff there. And then I was like, oh, this is great. The free membership is great. And then I was like, you know, I want more. And then I went the other tier. There's no hard sell. It's not like, you know, it's one of the few websites where they're trying to always sell you something. And then I did the free stuff as far as I could go. And I was like, oh, I want more. And then I paid a little nominal fee to join the next membership. And then I did the live training, and the live training was very helpful. But like Danish said, I think you have to go to the website, start with the free stuff.
Yeah.
And you slowly start picking things up, and you can always come here on the weekends and ask questions.
It gets very involved too. Like you have to know the basics first. Like it's a slow transition. Like you're not gonna learn everything in one shot. That's impossible. So take your time with it and learn it. You know, it's not. So, you know, it take time.
So some people are asking, can you explain the Discord thing? Now, now here's the thing. The Discord for me also, it's a brand new thing. But the reason I like this community, because you can share documents. Remember, in YouTube community, you cannot share documents. I have to upload it on our link. Then I have to give you the link. In Discord, you can directly share a document, and you can instantly create a channel very quickly. This means, I mean, if Kevtech is talking about his live sessions right now, and he has so many live sessions, and I don't want to do that whole thing again because he has already done it. So I made a new channel inside Discord, and I just call it Kevtech sessions, right? And in that, I basically explain what he covered in there and more. So I'm going to do that basically. So that's and it also gives you ability for you guys to talk to each other, to share more resources with each other, because now you are relying on our Zoom, right? We come in, you come over here, you share your knowledge with us, right? You may share something with us that we don't know, but we have to wait the whole week for this to basically do this. So why don't we be in a one community where everybody is involved with each other and help each other out? So if Kevtech allow me, maybe I'll show my screen and show you this Discord channel, and he's a part of that too. And we just added like yesterday, we started this. So our community is involved in Zoom. We get to send you an email. Hey, we're all gonna meet in the Zoom event. That same thing comes back to the Discord, and we kind of break it down more, because on YouTube, it's not easy to do this kind of stuff. If the video is 5 hours, it's not easy to break it down for you, explain things on top of that video that we have done so much hard work on. So now I have a platform that I can actually do this stuff, So that's why
I was gonna make a Slack channel too, but he did a Discord, so I'm good. I was gonna do that. He went one step ahead of me, so you go show it, Donish. It's fine.
I know I can download Discord on my phone, but I never knew you could download it here on the computer. I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, you can do it on the computer and your phone. I'm actually on 2 Discords, by the way. I think Donish too is in 2 Discords. I'm on 2 Discords.
I'm gonna show it to you guys just now. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it out, pull it right now, and then you guys can join. I mean, and I'll show you one another Discord that actually I started following IT career questions, and I was like, that's a good idea. Why won't we do that? Because we also have a different thing going on, and one of the things is that me and Kevtech is like, we work with each other, we collaborate with each other. So I told Kevtech that you can share whatever link, whatever you want. I don't care. I don't this is not only my thing right here. So everybody can come and share their resources as long as it's not sexual or whatever like that, right? So we can share this stuff. So we don't have that kind of thing, but other channels or other things, people may have different thing going on. People may have different sponsorships going on. We don't want to be kind of like, I don't want to be sharing my website or my courses inside somebody else, like something that's going on. But with me and Kevtech, we work together, so we have no problem with this.
Yeah, it's gonna be like very, very uncomfortable doing that too, because I feel bad, like it's their stuff, I don't want to do that to someone else if that they have their own Discord and stuff like that.
And with me, like I told Kevtech, is because we work with each other. So because I tell my members, and people are here, right, my live members, I tell them after the training or even before training, I tell them to go over there, because we do the same process. We have the same kind of like a teaching style, right? And we're doing teachings a lot too. We're showing a lot of technical stuff. So it makes more sense for us to, because first I wanted to do our own community, because we have so much things to share. So that would be pretty bad for another channels out there that we would just take over and boom, share like, 500 hours worth of, content in their Discord, right? That would blow their Discord up right there. So that's why I wanted to create a brand new one with Kevtech. He's an admin in this area too, and the more people join, the better it is. We get to share this stuff. So let me share my screen, and that's what allow me. How much can I do with LTE? Because I have YouTube video on, I have Zoom on right now, and I'm gonna start sharing my screen. So I want to see how good this is gonna get with LTE. So let me share my screen.
I just ordered a 3rd monitor, so I'm gonna be doing more videos now. I have 2 monitors now. I just ordered a 3rd monitor.
Kev, can you give me a permission to share? You just have to allow me.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. Second screen. There you go. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, when you join in, this is the first channel that you're gonna get, which is called Welcome Intro. As you can see, I put my welcome in there, my own story. I would highly recommend new people to come and share your story in detail. Meaning, say, okay, where you are, what's your goals, and what do you want to achieve. Based on that, someone from this community will help you out, because that's the most important things that, like for example, Roger, right? Even though if I tell Roger, like, okay, Roger, start with our courses, start with our courses and do all that kind of stuff, it's still best for Roger to approach me and say, hey, this is my uniqueness. This is where I'm going. This is the knowledge that I have. This is the certification that I have. You see, that makes more sense, right? When you're doing career advising. So our courses are designed for someone who was like, okay, we think that this is going to cover majority of the people, but I'm sure every single person have a different approach. They have different background. They have a different technical background. So this is the good spot where you can just really come in and share your information with us. So then on top of that, we're going to give you, okay, you should go to this course or that course. And we start sharing documentation and stuff easily, right? So if you can see for Roger, like I made this in a little sequence type of style, because when someone comes in, they do welcome introduction, then I would say, okay, first course. So I look at this here, I say 3 methods to start your IT career learning on JobSkills shared platform. The first one is the one I just shared with Roger, right, Roger? /free. And I'm going to share the 3 other methods in there too. Those could be, of course, live training, paid stuff, because it involves labs and everything. So we will make it very clear. Even if, let's say, Kevtech is making a video, I'm sure sometimes Kevtech also get a little annoyed to answer the same question in the same video, in the same 3 hours video that he has shared it, like, let's say 30 minutes ago, right? That's something we all come across that. It doesn't make us angry or anything, but it's, of course, we are human beings, right? How many times we're going to repeat ourselves again and again? So it's kind of like a sequential answers with more a platform.
Danish, I'm a robot, man. I run on coffee. I'm a robot.
There you go. And then we have this sysadmin community. People ask us questions. Okay, I'm in a help desk for this long. Can you tell me something about sysadmin? So I'm just going to tell them, okay, there are tons of information in sysadmin community, but here's your answer. But on top of that, you should come over here. And then I'm going to start adding YouTube session, which is a part of today's. Like I already put this right here. Kevtech will share all of her session over here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to share Kevtech stuff. He's going to share his stuff over here. And then practice labs, success stories, live trainings, video courses. And if you click on video course, and let's say, Roger, you feel like, man, I don't like to go over this whole platform type of learning. I don't want to get into your website. I don't like that. I don't want to put my account in your website. I don't want it, right? Simple as that. Your answer is that. But I'll give you this one video that's 13 hours long video. So if you have enough time to spend 13 hours, just click on this link. It's going to take you from 0 to all the way, like, basically level 1. And this video is pretty good. So far, a lot of people are saying that this is a good video, right? So it's almost 12 hours. 12 hours. Let me correct myself. 12 hours, I remove 1 hour from there, okay? So even if you take this whole 12 hours, to be honest, I feel like you're ready.
Yeah, I have a video similar to that. It's like 3 hours long. It's crazy.
So yeah, there you go. So there's a lot to share over here. I think the best way for me, like if you ask me, if you're brand new, you should really go for the sequential in the LMS system. What is that? Learning management system. Why is that? Because you take one video, you come back tomorrow. You take one video, another video, you come back tomorrow. So this is how you learn the best way. I mean, that's probably the most practical answer that I can give you and for anybody. Yeah. Was that sorry?
This is all. A lot of it is for the.
Femi has a question. Femi,
I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay.
How you doing, Femi? How you doing? What's up?
What's up, Femi?
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
I'm just recovering from food poisoning, so I was just taking my time.
Better, man.
Ow.
Yeah. So, first of all, good evening to Steven, to Kevtech, to Danish, and Roger. Nice to see you. I was trying to follow with all of what you were saying, and I just thought to specifically, first of all, you allow me direct some of my words of encouragement of sorts to Roger. That I will tell you something. I never knew Kevtech, even though we're New York guys in a way, moved down to Texas. I never knew Danish, I never knew Steven. And it was in my journey through, because I'm pretty like analytical, pretty much this kind of person that when I'm looking to get information, I could go to any extent. So all the way down from Professor Messer down to getting links to those guys. I'll tell you one thing. You're not gonna, if you want people that are gonna tell you things the way they are, which is the kind of person I am, especially the fact being that I transitioned from virology into IT, dude, you're gonna get it all in terms of people that are gonna like tell you the exact way it is from the basics, which is what a lot of people are not going to tell you, and which is what really annoys me a lot. And I still get it. I still spoke to a couple of people last week that come to me for advice. And matter of fact, I'm also trying to push some of them towards Kevtech and Danish. And again, keep in mind, like I'm saying, it's not because I'm trying to be patriotic or whatever, but I mean, when you consider the fact, like I said, that I'm here and I'm still trying to, get with those guys, then that means a lot. Now, Kevtech, you were saying something about the Macs and stuff, and you might have forgotten in the initial times I joined you guys, I had asked you a question about how far is going too far in trying to, get other skills, like trying to know about Macs and stuff like you might remember. Now, as much as I eventually realized that you got to be careful with the way the IT world works, it's just that wide. I suddenly still realized that it wasn't a bad thing that at least I had some kind of knowledge of Macs. Because you were mentioning some things and I was laughing because I'm like, you know what? Do you know how much I've known in the last 3 weeks, in the last 3 months since we've been on hold? Because I actually had to get a Mac Catalina certification book, not because I necessarily wanted to do it. So I again, I just wanted to thank you because a lot of what you guys say to us, it just resonates, and that's why I always try as much as I can to always get with you. I just to mention that, especially with respect to Roger.
Yeah, I'm a computer nerd. So literally, I would literally learn how to install Mac on a VM. So I did that, and I have a video on how to install Mac on a VM using VirtualBox. And I play around with it because even though the environment that I work in is predominantly Windows, I still like to have a Mac machine on my computer. Reason for that is because sometimes you will deal with people that have a Mac machine and then you don't know how to walk them through it because you don't have a Mac machine. So that's the reason why I put it on a VM. So then if I have to walk someone through something, I could just go to my VM, like, yeah. So you go to the top left-hand side. You know the start menus on the bottom left-hand side for Windows? It's on the top left-hand side for Mac. So you go to the top left-hand side, you click the Apple logo, you hit system preferences, blah, blah, blah. So that's the reason why I have Mac on my computer, because I'd like to have both just in case. And I'm the same thing with iPhones. Like I'm an Android person, but I asked the company to give me an iPhone because most of the people use iPhones in my job. And I can't walk someone through an iPhone if I don't have an iPhone with me. So that's the reason why I have an iPhone with me. And that's the reason why I put Mac on a virtual machine too, because sometimes you get these people that they use Mac or they use something that you've never seen in your life before, and it's a one-off, and you have to figure out how to do it. So like if someone has like an add-in or a plugin or a program or something, I usually install it on my computer first locally, then I test it, and then I try to install it on my I have a laptop that I run like production on. Like I run like I can install stuff on, and then I test it on that. And then after that, I go to the user or the client. I'm like, all right, so this is when you download this is what it's supposed to do. This is how you run it. Blah blah blah. You know, so I do a lot of testing before I start talking or doing these things. If that makes sense.
Which is true. But one more thing I wanted to ask you, because I'm not saying that feature that you mentioned, that stops you from downloading certain apps. I think it starts with a G. The name.
Yeah, Gatekeeper. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, it's called Gatekeeper. Basically, so just like Windows Defender or the antivirus for Windows, there's something called Gatekeeper, which blocks you from downloading miscellaneous stuff on a Mac. So Gatekeeper blocks anything you run on that. So if it's not in the Apple Store, it will block it. It will block that file, and it will prompt you for your password, your username and password, and then you have to hit the unlock it, and then it'll allow you to download it afterwards. But that's because it's a software feature that blocks any products you download that are not from Apple. If that makes sense.
So it has nothing to do with that T2, because I was like, oh, Gatekeeper. Okay, thanks.
I gone over that, by the way, on my other video, because I have 12 videos on ACMT, Apple Certified Macintosh Technician, and I have 12 videos on it, and I go over Gatekeeper. I go over how to reset memory on a laptop, using key commands, how to reset memory on a laptop. So on a Mac laptop, you could reset the memory if you hold certain keys on it, and you could reset the
Oh.
BIOS, reset the firmware, reset the memory. If you have certain keystrokes on it, you
Oh.
could do that. And I have another video on how to run time capsule on your computer, how to run time machine and all that stuff. Those are my old videos. That's like old videos I have, by
All
the
of
way.
those still work with Catalina though. The T2
Um,
wouldn't stop you from.
I have a full video on Catalina. So
Okay, all right.
it's on my YouTube channel. I have a video on it too. So, and I see Rune has joined. I don't know if he's there.
Yes, I have. Hi, guys.
What's up, man?
Hey, I'm good. Just wanted to let you guys finish off before I just broke you off.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you. I'm like, oh, he's here.
Yep,
How you
yep.
doing?
I've been listening for a while. Didn't want to interrupt, but yeah, cool stuff. I don't know much about yeah, what you're talking about, Max. I need to learn. I need to learn about that. That's one of my sweet points, I guess.
Yeah, so I saw Steven put something about gatekeeper in chat. Just looking at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done Mac before. I don't do it now, but I worked in a Mac environment before. It's just that, you know, it's like everyone uses Windows now. Like, you know, it's just
Everyone says that. I have friends who've been using PC all their lives. They changed to Mac and they're like, nope, not going back.
yeah, that's just, you know, you'll be surprised with that. You'll be surprised with that. So
Is it still Unix based, by the way? Is it still based on Unix?
yeah,
I
it's
don't
just,
know.
yeah, it's
okay.
it's almost the same. You know, they have terminal and you run instead of running IP config, you run IF config. You know, it's a little different. It's almost similar. So really
cool.
interesting. Yeah. So Danish,
Yeah.
you were able to share your screen and everything, and it worked.
I am
worked.
amazed. I'm like, man, I should just upgrade my LTE data and just start providing training like this. Why should I pay money for? No, I'm just kidding. It's a good backup. I mean, today I realized it's a good backup, guys. But one thing you guys should know, if you connect to the LTE, you gotta wait at least 5 minutes for all this data to start working from your cell phone data to your computer, because some people in the beginning may, it may just work instantly. It doesn't work instantly. You have to wait for it. Once you start getting that, you know, whatever mechanism they're using, it start working after like 5 minutes, and it's pretty speedy right now. I have, the reason I tested this, I have like Zoom open with videos, all of you guys. I have YouTube with videos open on the same videos, live sessions going on YouTube, and I have like, I'm doing like searching because I'm doing, and I was sharing the screen with you guys. Still, it was not lagging or anything, right?
Do they offer free data plans where you guys live?
Mine's not free. Mine's unlimited. When I got this, it was unlimited from a T-Mobile. This is called grandfathered type of plan. Something they basically discontinued giving this unlimited version of it. But still, the what's it? The LTE data that you can use for like your Wi-Fi, like, you know, like a hotspot, you know, from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's about it does come like you have to then buy more if you want to add more. I think I have 7 GB right now, which is not bad. I mean, 7 GB for backup is okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I'm on files, so the thing is
Like right now,
fast.
Let me speed test my connection right now. I want to see how, like, while I'm talking right now, this is a good thing for newbies too, because you want to test something like this to understand how network works. This would be a perfect example. I'm used to like a 600 Mbps, 700, sometimes even 900. So that's a huge number right there. And right now I'm getting 6 Mbps download and 2 Mbps upload, and still I can do this. That tells you something, right? So
you know what's even better with that? You know, going into this topic, you know what's even better with speed tests? That's really important with speed tests is basically you'll have an issue where a user or a client or a person is on VPN and they're wondering why their computer is very slow when they're opening Outlook, when they're doing these things on their computer, and it could be because VPN is slow. So if you do a speed test while on Wi-Fi without VPN, you want to test it with VPN, and sometimes you have a slowness with VPN, and then you could work with your network admin team and see why you're having slowness with your VPN, because you shouldn't be having slowness with your VPN. Sometimes that does happen if like a Cisco router is down or something is down, if that makes sense. So.
Hey, just wanna think if somebody asked a question. I am just finishing up with my CompTIA A+. Do you recommend?
Reply to him.
Oh, you reply? Okay. All
yeah,
right. So
yeah.
you reply them, then good. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a ninja.
Okay. We done.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
Hey, how you doing, Raj?
Hi.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I don't know if Danish agrees with me, but basically you could do speed tests with your VPN. Maybe there's an issue with VPN on your network side, so you could do that. Because sometimes there are people that they have this issue where you don't know if it's slow because of VPN or you don't know if it's slow because of the Wi-Fi in your house. If people are working from home, you know, so that does happen. Because I had an issue with a user with a client that they're like, oh, I'm using my laptop, and for some reason it's very, very slow. I don't know why it's slow. And then I run a speed test, and then for some reason it's you know, it's just slow. So I don't know, you know.
Roger just wrote. Yeah, Roger just wrote he does speed tests on the PS4.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Kevtech, I think 2 weeks ago I had an issue with a user like that, and what it turned out to be, which is also the reason why I kind of feel I'm in a better place in terms of how I am able to like ask questions. I mean, because I now feel the reason why that's very important, the routes you take to try to troubleshoot. It turned out that the major reason behind the slowness, whether on VPN or not on VPN for this user's situation, was because the what do you call it? The extender. I know you have that other name for it now. I can't seem to remember.
Extender.
That was what, yeah, the extender. You know when you're trying to extend the wireless access. What do you call that thing again?
Yes, the Wi-Fi extender. You had an access point.
Access point.
But then they bought an extender in addition. So it turned out that I was like, you know what? When I went into the networking connection, just the adapters to see what was going on there, and I noticed that they had the extender in there. And as soon as she connected directly to the router itself, it was fine. And then the other thing I noticed was because we use Symantec, I don't know how popular that is across board. Sometimes suddenly I realized that based on some documentation that we have within my company, sometimes we're forced to go right click on I don't even know, I've only been doing that recently, and then we have to like uncheck this enable WSS thing. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And then that way we now go into the internet options, and there's just some, I've only done it recently, and it's kind of interesting that I realize that sometimes the reason why it's like that is something that has to do with things like what I just mentioned now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had an issue where this user had an issue with the Wi-Fi not working properly on their work laptop, and the Wi-Fi was very slow on the work laptop. And then they're like, but when I use my regular home laptop, it's not as slow. Why the hell is the Wi-Fi so slow on my regular laptop? And then I'm looking at it and I'm comparing both of them, and they're doing Wi-Fi testing on both of them. And then I noticed that the Wi-Fi, the NIC card and device manager needed to be updated. So I updated the device manager NIC card for the Wi-Fi on the work laptop, and then it matched the Wi-Fi speed on the regular home laptop afterwards. So it's just like something that happened to me. Just wanted to share that. Yeah. So it was a weird issue, but it was like, whatever, So have trouble getting Catalina ISO to work for a VM. Yeah, you would. We would, man. It's kind of annoying to install.
So is there any cool help desk tickets there, Dennis? You have anything on your side? Yeah, you have anything on your side?
A lot if you guys wanna. If you guys want to continue with those tickets. I mean, I don't know if Kevtech has some, but I have those 100+ tickets.
Let's make these guys think a little bit.
I do have tickets, but I
know you
I have a lot of tickets, but the thing is that like I was waiting for Danish to join. Danish joined a little late.
Sorry, man. This whole connection thing is. Go ahead and open it if you have something.
Yeah,
actually, tomorrow I'm scheduled for work. We have this work to do at 6 a.m. We have to switch some of the DNSs on the things, and this is something that I guess you guys will come across. Like I said, stuff like Cloudflare, where you have to do a lot of when you're changing sites. So the background history, the history of this type of project is that there's a website, let's say jobscareshare.org. It's been running for 6-7 years, and that is getting moved to a cloud. Another company will be taking over the CMS now. CMS are a very big thing for you guys when you become sysadmins in the companies, because even though you don't work on CMS systems directly, you're going to be, if the CMS system was configured inside your servers, and who has to manage the servers? Sysadmins, right? The CMS is running directly inside your IIS servers. So of course, everything that has that the CMS has to touch, then of course you're involved, like ports, IP addresses, DNS, you know, anything, caching. So now all of that features are getting moved to cloud. So the same company that was providing the CMS for internal on-premises type of software, they moved their softwares to the cloud. And basically now what happens? You have to let go of all of those servers internally, and they have to manage everything. So this creates a new area. And I was thinking about it, man, and that's why I made a lot of videos about how sysadmins need to start working on the cloud system, and especially these, you know, CDN type of systems, because you're going to be heavily involved in this type of stuff. Even if they are moving to cloud, that doesn't mean that they're going to be managing everything from their end. They will still give you access to their Azure, and you will be doing monitoring. You will be managing your own applications that they have given you access. So there's a lot of new things that of course, I came across, and I'm like, wow, this is something a new person would have no clue. So for example, one of the developers sent me a message that, hey, so can you make sure we want to grab the data from your SQL server? So I'm like, okay, how would you do that? So the guy was like, can you run a TCP ping from the cloud? Now, have you, Stephen or Kevin, have you ever heard of this stuff, right? So for me, and I'm talking about, like, this project has been done a year ago, right? Now I'm at the place where I learned all this stuff. So my thing was like, what the hell is TCP ping? I know about ping, but what the hell is TCP ping? TCP, P-I-N-G. So I'm like, what the hell is that, right? How do I do that, right? So I had to learn it the hard way, because I had to Google things, and then I found, oh, okay, in Azure, when you implement an app service or you implement an applications, they give you these tools that comes with apps over there. So you go to the cloud, and then there's this thing called TCP ping. You open it, the TCP ping, just like black screen, just like your normal computer screen, it opens up and it will ping from Azure IP addresses to your IP addresses locally. Because I have to grab the data from the SQL server, so then I need to do what? I need to open ports and everything. I just wanted to tell people that things are definitely changing. And if you're going to if you're going to sysadmin positions, get into some type of learning into cloud right now. You don't need to be, and I'm not saying this to a person who's brand new and trying into IT. That's totally different thing. This is for the people who are already in IT, and you're moving into junior sysadmin positions, and you want to learn a little bit. So learn some basics of cloud, because as soon as you get into a company, you're going to start seeing companies using both like that. And that's just one example. I've done many other solutions for many clients now, and I'm like, okay, that's a lot of stuff that I just came across that I had no clue, absolutely clueless. I had to learn it on the fly from the other people, from the developer. Of course, the developer didn't know much about our firewalls and anything, and he's like, I can only help you with this. How does this work? And you can just do this command, and that's how you figure it out. But the rest, I don't know. I mean, probably you know more than me, and that's where you need to then, work with each other. So tomorrow I have this new project, similar project coming in. I'm probably going to learn one or two things. So just wanted to share this story, that how cool it is, but at the same time, how scary it is at the same time too. Like, man, it's too many new things that we're hitting right now.
Danish, can I say something quickly in respect of this? Do you think it's a good thing to rather than go straight to cloud, to at least have an idea of server admin?
What do you mean by straight to cloud?
Okay, like the way a lot of things are being implemented in the clouds now, and even hybrid stuff and stuff like that. Would you agree that it's a good thing to have a good grip of server admin work rather than just jumping straight into cloud?
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. You definitely need to have a good on-premises skills to then go to the cloud. That's my method. Like people that are coming to us and like getting trained by JobSkills Share, like, you know, my own training, I never suggest them to go to cloud. And even though I have one member, she was really interested in AWS, and she wanted to go straight into, I think she did some of it, but she said that was too much for her. Now, why would that be a problem? Because even if you go to the cloud, and we did some Active Directory deployment before, I don't know if you took those sessions, you still needed to know about networks, right? You still needed to know about how that server has to go out of that cloud network, come out and connect to our on-premises network. So at the same time, you need to know the networking, right? That's the basics of it. And then if you don't know that, then what happens is that, for example, in this scenario where a developer wanted to grab a file from a SQL server, the SQL server is not available publicly, right? You don't do that, right? So what do I need to know? What do I need to know to help this person while I'm on the cloud as well? My systems are going to cloud. Where would your skills really be helpful at this point right now? So a developer is totally into cloud, right? He's asking you to open up a port on a SQL server. So what does that imply right here? Can you just go in there and open up a port on a SQL server itself, or do you really need to know some other stuff in there? Inside the company, what else is holding people to come in? Firewalls, right? Right? So as a sysadmin, you do need to know the on-premises skills that we should know. Firewalls, networking, basics, protocol, stuff like that. So of course I knew that knowledge. I knew which port to open. I knew how to go into the firewall. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna only allow this port because SQL Server talks on specific ports, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna allow this specific port, and then he run his script or whatever, grab the data, and then I turned off the port. So because of this skill, he was able to do his job. At the same time, then after that, I need to go the cloud again to implement something with that developer. So it's like working together with people, and you need to know this stuff. So if you didn't know the on-premises skills and you were, let's say, go straight to the cloud, and somebody asked you, hey, we have 2 servers inside our company. How do we connect that? How do we remove that ADFS stuff and bring it to the cloud so we can just use single sign-on only? We want to remove ADFS, but you need to do some certain stuff for that to stop that service from running so it doesn't interfere with our cloud SSO type of solution. So of course, then you need to know how to even stop something that's running on premises, right? So definitely, and I'll give you another example. One person called me and said, Danish, I'm pretty good at cloud stuff. I have my certifications. I know what I'm doing over there. But the company that I got a job right now requires me to know about the on-premises skills. So what do I do now? Or see, on-premises is not dead or anything. It's not going to be dying anytime soon anyways. It's going to be there for a long, long time before these companies really start something just cloud or something like that, which something is going to take a huge amount of time. I feel like maybe I'll be out of this career then I don't care after that. Once I retire, I don't care. Right? Once I'm done with this stuff, I'm done.
Yeah, Danish is going to disappear.
Yeah, I think
Danish.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I want to ask you talking about networking, I want to ask you something about net. Okay, so when you go out the real world, usually your routers will have net to put in so that it translate the private IP address to public IP address. Okay, what happens if suppose you go out in the real world, you have your service provider, your ISP's router, which itself have net on its own. Then you have your Cisco router, which itself have net. Can you do 2 times net, or is it you need to disable your service provider net, then only you can only put it on your normal company's net?
Now, this usually the netting, I have not heard people using 2 nets together, right? Let's say I don't know if you know about one of my videos. If you ever search it, go to JobSkills Share, and I put this video. How do you use Cisco router for netting so it can goes out of your local router and goes out? So if that was the case, then it's kind of tricky because I do not.
Because
it's tricky. So the thing is this: you have to. It depends on the providers too. Like for example, we use L3. Now they don't do that. They use basically a straight IP addresses. They give you the IP address. Their IP address is publicly available. They know that. Okay, if you want to protect your IP address, you need to put a router, then a firewall, or you can put a firewall, then a router. Usually, the normal concept, the normal implementation is what? You got a router, then firewall, right? You don't put a firewall right in front of that, right? unless there is an ISP type of firewalls, and yeah, but you don't, let's say if I give you an IP address from a Comcast, and I'm saying, okay, your IP address, this is your public IP address. That IP address is publicly available, right? Because you need to access that IP address. So that's NATing, whatever that stuff is done from them, you don't do anything on that side. But of course, when it comes to you, then how do you configure that NATing? Of course, that's something, it depends on what kind of technology you're going to use.
Yeah, I
So-
agree with you. So another thing, because okay, when you go out the real world, there's two kinds. There's either you get something called a static net, which is the service, you buy a set of IP address from the service provider, or you get something called, or the service provider gives you a net all the time using something called a point-to-point over Ethernet server. So what, okay, the static net, I know, maybe what you can do is you can disable net on a service provider and you can do it on your router. But definitely for the net, the IP address that change all the time, you can't do it. The control must be given over to the service provider so that they can give you the IP address. So that's why I'm a bit confused, because my company, I have a solution where we need to enable net, but then the service provider router also have net. So I'm like very
So
confused.
did they give you a set of IP addresses that you can use, or they just give you like a specific range?
Our company only, we use PET, one IP address and multiple ports.
Okay. So you get, okay. Yeah, that's something, that's not a normal thing, right? A lot of people, like bigger companies, have what? They have multiple IP addresses. So they would be in a one range, but they will give you like, let's say 4 or 6 or 5 or something like that, right? And then you can use it for multiple local addresses that whatever you want to use, whatever IP classes you want to use for that. But it depends. Like I said, man, it's something that whoever's you're dealing with, whoever's your ISP, that's like where the designing part will come in, and depending on how far you are going to go with this company, right? Maybe you have multiple branches. They may need a separate IP addresses, or maybe have just one building with just what you guys have, like say one IP with different type of port enabling, right? So it really depends. And that's kind of like, if you look at it, that's how our home offices, home networks are, right? You get one IP address, you don't get 2 IP addresses, right? And then you enable ports to let whatever services you want to let out from that IP address. The only thing with one IP address is it's not easy. Like, okay, let's say if I want to have one domain that I want to enable to the whole world, and I want to call it lab.javascriptshare.org, and that application is only running on one single port, and I cannot change that port. Why? Because that's how the application is built, right, Raj? So if it says 8080 is the port that you have to use, because that application, that Node.js, JavaScript, whatever, they have hard-coded that port in there, then how would you resolve that issue? Right? Now you got a problem.
What you're telling me is, you in the real world, you don't do net 2 times. You only do net either on the service provider or on your border router.
I wouldn't be the best person to give you the best answer, because I'm not like a designing type of network person. I've probably seen this with different type of scenarios by other people, but that wouldn't be my best answer right there. So best would be to, if there's a network engineer specifically,
This is very confusing.
I know. Based on my example, I don't see people using one IP addresses and putting out ports out there. Why? Because that one example that I just gave you, I may be a provider. For example, I'm a provider myself, right? I give labs, right? But I don't give it from these IP addresses. I have other business IP addresses that I use from, let's say my brother have a company. So then I'll use that. But the problem with me is that I get stuck by giving out a lab, let's say vSphere host, right? So I'm using a vSphere host. And that I can go into the vSphere. My solution to that is that I can go to the vSphere and I can change any port I want to, any port, as long as it's not one of the known ports, like 443, 80, or something like that. I can go in there and say, okay, 2223, that's the port that I'm going to give you, right, for 30 days. But I can do that because of my application. What if my application didn't allow me to change the port now? I got stuck there, right? This means I had to contact my brother company and let them give me another IP addresses, which is, of course, is going to be super expensive. Who's going to do that, right? Let's say if I want to give 30 vSpheres access to my members, I would have to buy 30 IP addresses, which is crazy, right? So it's something you have to think about, the design of the company.
I see, bro. Then I have another question.
Yeah.
I watched your 11 hours video. This is really good, man. You're giving some really good content on it. Really good. Thanks, man. So on, I learned some stuff, even like the Cisco, for example, you can take off the RAM from the router. I did not know that. You actually can remove the, what is that thing? What is that chip?
Oh.
There's one chip where you can remove the
Huh?
firmware.
Hey, sorry, Raj. My wife just called me. She's
Yeah,
like,
no problem, man, no problem.
are you coming for food? She's like, I'm in the meet. I'm in the meeting. She's like, you want to come for the food? So I'll let you guys continue for a little bit. I'll just take a little break. Okay.
Yeah, no problem, man, no problem.
That was a Danish. I said I was gonna be like a small live session today because I have stuff I gotta do myself as well.
Okay. I mean, I'm here for like next 5 minutes, and then we can.
Yeah, because I have to do something today. Unfortunately, they got me busy today. Today's a moving day for me, so I gotta move stuff.
And by the way, for people that are interested in networking, Raj, we are building a new CCNA course, which is almost 60% done by a network engineer right now. So the way I teach is the way, because they have to teach, right? So because when I listen to their videos, their implementation or their way of represent the videos has to be matching how we do things. So right now we are 60 to 70% done with that course. And once that course is done, then we'll review it again, and we're going to add some real world scenarios to that. So I think some of these areas are going to start, we're going to start hitting them, and probably going to talk more about it, because I know these are some of the questions that a lot of people have with, even myself. Like I say, I'm not very comfortable with networking when it comes to providing, let's say, something from an ISP level, right? That's something that I don't do. So maybe those are some of the things that we should take a note, call these people, call these engineers, open the floor for them. Say, guys, these are the questions.
Yeah, bro, right? You're talking about course. Is there a course on your website where it combines the system admin and help desk together? Where not system admin and networking together. It's like one mega lab where there's Windows Server and then there's CCNA routers and servers. Is there any course like that combine everything together?
So there's no one course for this. This is called transition period, right? So the transition period has multiple courses in there, so that we want people to start follow a format. So if you have not watched my latest video, it's called How to Become a Junior Sysadmin. In that, I have actually gone over with someone who had years of help desk experience and 6 months of admin experience. And that person wanted to know what you're asking right now. So I basically went over each and every single lab in that one video. So if somebody have access to our premium level, which you have like access to many different resources, right? So the way this membership works is you get a lot of access. So for example, let's say you ask me a question about networking, or you ask me a question about cloud right now. Maybe maybe security. And I don't have too much knowledge or too much way to actually kind of like represent everything in a theoretical way, right? It's not easy to explain this stuff, right? So then for that, we have this huge library access where you can say, okay, Raj, I think you should take 2016 identity server course, networking course, and blah, blah, blah. This combination of this will give you that type of skills, what you're asking. Because right now you're asking multiple skills in one shot, right? Networking, sysadmin, and we do all this stuff together, right? So the real answer is that it has to be in multiple courses format. You have to start with the networking course, and then in that we teach real world skills. After that, there is a sysadmin course, which is a server plus, then we teach our real world skills. Then after that, it's focus area. Let's say you say, I want to go into networking more, so that the engineer is teaching the course. That's something that people are going to go into, because that's just networking then. If somebody says, I want to become a sysadmin, they're going to go into more specifically about Microsoft courses, and that's just sysadmin stuff. And with that, we teach all these videos and everything to tell people. And the real answer is going to be people like you are going to actually contact me or somebody else that, okay, I'm in this situation. This is my job. I have a unique thing going on. So how can you help me, right? So then that's where the consultation career services come in place, because you have to call for that, right? Because it's not easy to tell one answer to one person. Like if I tell you this is one course, somebody was listening to me right now. Okay, he told Raj that this is the course that goes for sysadmin, and he may go in there, and that may not be a total thing for that person, right? A totally different answer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that,
have another question also, bro. You talk about Windows domain, all right? How long can a domain name be? Can you put something dot something dot something, or only you can put like in your course you talk about a domain, you put jss.jobskill.org, so there's 3 space. Can you, how many spacing can you put? Is it only 2, or you can put like unlimited subdomains?
I don't think there's a unlimited. I'm sure there's a limit. I don't know out of my like I don't know. Probably someone can search it right now. But if you put more than the reason people are going to be using something smaller, like for example, a lot of people use HQ, like headquarter, right? Or corp, CORP. The reason for that is that because you don't want your net BIOS to go and add an additional value to that, right? So if you put corp ABC, you go to net BIOS, and what happens to your net BIOS now? It adds additional values to your net BIOS. That's a problem then, right? So if you have to then sign into something and it requires a net BIOS, then you need to know those values. It won't work with you putting, let's say, HQ CEC 123. It won't work that way. But someone can do a quick search on Google and probably find out exactly how many you can put. But my experience, nobody put more than 3 letters right there, right? So
yeah, you won't
yeah.
see that in a work environment. They don't
Have
do
you ever
that.
seen someone putting a let's say HQ Steven dot jobskillshare.org, right?
That's too
gonna
much.
mess.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
mess
so
up a bunch of stuff.
so a lot of people will be using it, but I don't know the domain, subdomain, the third level domain. I don't know who would do that, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's like very
Yeah.
uncommon to see that in a job environment. They don't
Uh,
do that because it complicates a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, then Kev, another thing, is there any reason why in a company there is more than one domain controller? Why is some companies, you see, it's a small company or medium company, they have like 2, is it just for backup, or is there any other reason?
It's 100% backup. It's redundancy, right?
It's redundancy.
One domain goes down, your whole company is down. Nobody can log in. Nobody can use, because everybody is using these days radius servers now. Now this means even your Cisco routers and switches are using radius servers, right? So what is that? It uses your authentication from Active Directory, right? So
Yeah,
if
bro,
one,
but
Mhm.
yeah, sorry, but when I said sorry, but my question is when are multiple domains, but they are different domains, not the same domain, but they could be like, for example, one is JSS.jobstreet, another one could be JSS1.jobstreet. So there are 2 domain controllers with 2 different domains. So why is there any reason why they have it 2
well,
different domains in
if
the
it's
company?
two different domains, they gotta have a different reasons for that. Why do they want to use 2? Like I'll give you an example. So we use one domain for our service providers. So those are the same domain but with a different sub name on there, right? Like they'll say HQ1, right? And the other will say HQ2. So HQ1 is being used by our service provider because they are managing what? Our own servers over there. So this means if one domain is working over there, same domain, like they have the same data going on between each other. So there's syncing going on and everything. But let's say if we go down locally on our own premises, so what happens? Our service provider can take over and then give us services from that domain. You see why there's a second need of it? Because what if our data center have a flood now? The flood came in, our domains are down. Now what happened? Can my employees still log in? Yes, because who will take over? My service
So
provider with a different domain.
when you're talking
Yeah,
about
they'll
service
have
provider,
multiple domains for
But
multiple redundancy.
but I'll give you another reason for that too. What if they have a different company inside their, let's say, I own jobskillshare.org and you own, I'd say that, okay, Raj, do you want to work with me? You want to be my partner, but you gotta use certain access level from my domain. So how would you then do that? But I don't want you to just use my name, right? Like my name as in like if I'm using hq.jobskillshare.org, I don't want you to use something else. Sorry, I don't want you to use this because you can.
You create another
then-
forest.
Then you can create the just like that. So Raj, this will be another example, but still you would also have 2. I would also have 2 for redundancy.
I see. So okay, that means what you're trying to say is, if you're working in the same company, there's 2 companies out there. Basically, we want to have separate domain, so that you have your own ACL, I have my own ACL, but you can actually combine like domain from one domain to another domain.
Yeah. That's why we have the trust relation.
Yep.
with all these domains, right? And that's
I
something
see,
I
I
think
see.
that's
That makes
something,
sense.
and that's something. Of course, we don't do videos on this stuff because it's so advanced. But that's where your practice lab have the labs, right? The identity server course. It has all that stuff covered in there. How do you use a second domain to connect it to the first domain? How do you create an additional domain? How do you even create a domain outside of your network? All that stuff is covered in these labs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And by the way, that's the course that we're also making videos right now. And that's
Yeah, we
called,
should make a video on that, on multiple domains, multiple forests. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, bro.
I'll probably share, because one of my instructors is almost doing that right now. I'll probably just throw those videos out there. People can just watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. Then when you talk about domain, there's two kinds of domain. One is your local domain controller. Another one is Azure domain. So the difference is the difference is a local domain only applies to your network. You must be physically there, or you need to connect a VPN server to go inside there. And then the Azure domain you can connect wherever you are in the world.
Now remember, Azure domain. Are you talking about Azure Active Directory? Because I'm not. I'm not sure.
Azure Active Directory domain join.
No, that's a total. Active Directory on premises has nothing to do with Azure Active Directory. It does connect between these two things, but both are giving two different services. So I'll give you one best example to that. You use Azure Active Directory for single sign-on type of approaches. Like say, for example, you have Zoom. You're using Zoom right now, and I want you to use your Azure Active Directory email and login, right? And I want you to use that, not your personal email. Then I can add an application inside Azure app, right? Because there's an enterprise application in Azure app. Then you can do SSO. You can do a lot of different stuff over there, different ways to connect that. That's why you're going to use Azure domain. That's not the same way how it works inside our businesses and local on-premises, where you have one main domain controller, then you have additional domain controllers, and you have group policies. As you have a total different thing going on. So that's something I was thinking in the beginning too, because it says on the new computer, if you go there, if you go to the management, it says join to the Azure domain. That doesn't mean that you're going to take over a machine just like a local Active Directory domain. It means that you're just going to connect that machine so it will show up on the Azure Active Directory, so you can implement some features that are available from cloud, but it's not like it's going to take over the current features. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you're telling that on-premise Active Directory is still more superior than Azure domain?
100%. Yeah, 100%. They don't have a. This is not to tell people that Azure Active Directory is a replacement to Active Directory. Go find it on documentation. Nobody will say that. There's no taking over right now at this point. I don't know if in future they may do it.
Yeah, you're gonna have environments where they still have on-site Exchange 365 and on-site Server 2016 or 2019. A lot of companies are not in cloud yet. They're still doing everything on site. It's on-site premise setup. So it depends how your environment is set up. But even where I work, there's a server there. It's set up that way. So they're still not in the cloud yet. But like Danish said, maybe in the next couple of years, people will be on cloud. Maybe Azure will be there, and a bunch of other things are going to happen. But for now, we're on site right now. In my job.
Like a lot of people are using AD Sync, right? At this point, right? You have an on-premises on the server. One of these servers have this application installed internally. Then it connects back to Azure. It syncs everything from where? From your local Active Directory to Azure. But that's just so you don't have to do kind of like twice kind of work. But the main reason you would be using Azure Active Directory is for those advanced features that Active Directory doesn't provide you, right? Like Active Directory doesn't have an app feature in there, right? You cannot put an application in there. I don't know how much you know about cloud right there, but you cannot add an application inside an on-premises Active Directory, right? There's no application stuff. You go to create a user. Is there a place where it says create an application inside Active Directory? I don't think there is any.
They don't have that. They just regular Active Directory and servers and server manager, but there's no VPN like Azure. There's no company Intunes like Azure. There's no apps you could create like Azure. It's a lot.
So the main reason for Azure Active Directory, it connects all of that on-premises stuff that you still need to use Active Directory on premises. It connects all of these other features that you're using, other features, single sign-on, different type of CMS systems are out there right now. Just I mentioned, a $1 million CMS just moved to cloud. And all that stuff then requires Azure for you to connect everything. So another example is that what if you have, let's say 25 users, they are locally working inside your network, but that 25 users are now using an application inside the Azure. How would you give these 25 user access to that application that's using Azure application? What would be the easy way? Are you going to create 2 accounts now on Azure and internal? No, you're not going to do that, right? You're going to actually still use the on-premises Active Directory. It will connect to your Azure, and then they will use Azure. It will use your on-premises, information. And I'll just grab it from there, and basically you will just make that work. It's a little tricky thing. I mean, it's not that easy to do it. Let me share my screen just quickly. I just want to show you something.
I see, bro. Then what about there's something called App Locker? Is it the same? Is App Locker application server or is it something else?
I don't know too much about like App Locker. I don't use App Locker type of stuff. Maybe Kevin might know this. Are you talking about at the Windows level where there's like App Locker and group policy stuff like there?
Yeah, Windows have a application in it called App Locker. I heard like
yeah, I don't use that level of kind of like locking down application. We would either use straight group policy, use app, but I never use that. We have AMP, we do that. We'll just like lock down some of the applications on the network. So that's a little bit different stuff on Cisco. So, but I don't use App Locker. Maybe I don't. Kevin, do you use App Locker?
No, I don't use that. I do more like you said, same thing. Group policy. Put everything in a group policy level for blocking certain applications and stuff like that.
Yeah. So do you see my screen, Raj?
Yeah, bro. I see you. See.
Okay. So we're talking about this right here. You see how Azure AD Connect is what? It's saying it's not. It never ran. So as a sysadmin, you still need to know what? Azure AD Connect Cloud Provisioning, right? It basically, you install this application. So if I click on download, it's going to install this application. You have to download this where? Inside your local on-premises network. Does that make sense? So once you do that, you basically connect these two together, and then it will basically put all of the users that you have inside your local Active Directory. They all will show up where? Right here. Look at this. One is saying Microsoft Azure Active Directory account. Another is saying Microsoft account. And the third one will say after syncing what? Windows Server account. Windows Server Active Directory or something like that, directory services. So you see the reason this feature is so important in the cloud, that it connects everything together. It's not a replacement. It's a connection basically. And then on top of that, it gives you more features. So let's say, for example, if I go back, what am I talking? What kind of feature? We're talking about these app registrations, enterprise applications. So if I click on enterprise application, I already see some application Microsoft is already using it by default. Which one are we using right now by default? Outlook, different ones. Can I add more in there? Yes, you can add over here, let's say Zoom, some other applications. So then if somebody want to log into Zoom with a company's email, what are they going to do? They're going to go to Zoom, they're going to click on SSO. And from here, because I have done the configuration in these applications right here, based on that access, they will be getting basically access to Zoom right now. So permissions, sign in right here. So you're going to come over here, click on the sign in, and then you're going to add those links in here, and they're going to show up right here. So Azure Active Directory is definitely not the same right now. It's just a middleman with more power to your local on-premises connection. So you can see there's too many other things going on, but it's totally not a replacement at all.
That means the Zoom and all those applications are stored on Azure and you're loading it from Azure.
Yeah, definitely. So if you come over here and let's say app registration, And one other thing about, you got to realize that they change this left and right every time. If I try to make a course or make a video on it, the next week they're going to be changing. It totally pissed me off, and I have no energy
Yeah,
after
they
this.
do that.
So you can see you can do it for multiple different ways. You may have an API. I don't know how much you know about APIs. So you can have an API. You can have some type of manifest type of files. You may have an application already built inside the Azure. So for example, if I say Zoom, do we have anything? Let's see if we can find something on Zoom. I feel like maybe we should find something. Maybe I'm not in the right place. All resources. I should have found it from here. I'm using the free version, so maybe I'm not in the right place. But you definitely can come over here and find most of this stuff. Like right now, let's see. Let me find it over here. If you can see Zoom, I already did this. Not coming up. I see this. Come on. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you know, it's not coming up right now. But this is what I'm talking about, Raj, that you would basically find that application. And if it's available to you, now I'm using a free version. I canceled off. I don't know if you know, they charged me like $500 when I was not using it. So I had to fight it. So I canceled all of my services. And maybe that's why my searching is not working. So, but you will find that Zoom application. And what do you want to do with it? Of course, you're going to have to be in Active Directory first. You're going to go to your applications right here. And then you're going to find that application just like these other applications, where you can build your own application, by the way. So this is what I was talking about, Zoom. Do you see this, Raj? So you see how all the applications are coming up right now? Office 365, ServiceNow. I don't know, did I lost my connection or something?
So this also works with third-party application.
Yeah, third party. So here, Zoom is right here. Look at this, telecommunication. So you click on it, and then of course they have what? Read our instructions for Zoom integration tutorial. So you go in there, and it takes you to their setup SSO right here, and you gotta follow that. Now this is the stuff you could have done also from an Active Directory, but that's gonna require local setup, some type of ADFS type of setup. You're still gonna have to know that SAML type of setup. So here you have all that information given to you. How do you connect Zoom? So here we're talking about users and groups, add users, single sign-on. You added the stuff that Zoom is provided to you. You say save. Look at this. I'm going back to app registration again. Endpoints. You got to use the endpoints right here. So all of this stuff requires you to know Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, and Azure knowledge right there. And people are going to definitely come to you these days and say, hey, we're using Azure. Sorry, we're using Zoom and we're on Azure. Can you guys implement this? And if you haven't done it, you just have to come in to these documentation and just
play around with it.
Okay, bro. That means what you're telling me. Can you connect to Azure domain anywhere around the world without a VPN, or you still need to be like a normal domain like that?
No, I haven't done that. I don't think so. I mean, we would get an option. Well, there is an option from Microsoft. Hold on, what is it called? Let me see. I think it's an option they still use VPN, by the way. You cannot get away from VPN. It's an internal VPN that gets connected inside the Microsoft. I forgot the name. Microsoft Azure VPN for. I think I was just about to look into this stuff because I wanted to remove the Cisco AnyConnect.
Cisco AnyConnect.
This is one of the issues, right? With Cisco AnyConnect, they have what? They have SBL, sign before logon. But it's just a crappy type of. It doesn't work with Mac. It's like it gives you this big icon on top of your computer. You start a computer, and that icon just comes up and says connect to VPN. It's not doing it like some cloud type of stuff. It's not that. But Mike, Azure have something in there that has I forgot the name. Hold on, man.
I just checked my account. I actually have 12 months free. I'm about to make a video on that. I logged in just now to my account and it works. And
you need to make sure when you use the resources and don't put your credit card enabled, or you're gonna get disappointed, bro.
Yeah, they have a. It's free for me. I just checked for 12
I
months.
remember I used that VPN server, so I thought everything was shut down, right? But I forgot to delete the VPN services, and that services cost me $500. But
Jesus.
they returned all the money basically. They give me like a full refund.
Oh my God.
Raj, I have to find that, man. That link. I have not implemented this, by the way, so I don't think it's possible. But maybe, hey, we know. Who knows? It's all things are going to cloud now, so it could be
Yeah,
possible.
no issue, bro. No issue. Thanks for teaching. Because I'm also quite excited about cloud because my company is planning to. There's still a lot of things like what you say. A lot of companies are still using on-premise. On-premise will never go away. Even that is one of the reasons why Microsoft now even their certification they're extending. So it's not they say COVID-19. Maybe it's that or maybe there's other reasons. But now the certification instead of putting it on June, they are extending all the way to January 2021 for your MCSA certification. So I think even Microsoft themselves know that on-premise is still going to stay. Maybe some people will move, will have something like a hybrid cloud approach, but a lot of people will still use on-premise. Like even my company, they want people to basically use on-premise because my company believe that on-premise is much more secure, it's much more safer than the cloud. So on-premise will still continue to stay. Maybe in a couple of years down the road, maybe everything will move to the cloud. But for now, a lot of companies are having a hybrid approach. Like for example, your email servers can be hosted on Office 365, but your actual Active Directory and everything will still be hosted locally.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the hybrid type of environment is going to be there for a long, long time. It's not going to go away. I mean, some companies may go to the cloud for specific reason with like email stuff, and they may just totally remove Active Directory because they may not need it because they're too small, right? They may start thinking like that. But if a company is a mid-sized company, I don't see any replacement anytime soon with this type of stuff yet. It's first of all, it's expensive. Some small business owner or medium-sized businesses may not even go to that because of the expense. People may think cloud may save money, but it may not be saving money. Why? Because they may already paid for a virtualization like VMware and everything while working perfectly. Why would they want to move all this stuff to a cloud while they're going to get charged now, right?
That's the reason why I argue about like people argue with me all the time. They're like Kevin, go study Microsoft Azure. I'm like, I don't need that right now. And also like there's like MCSA, the certification. They say that there's no point in studying it if everything's gonna go to the cloud. I'm like, no, you should still study it. Any certification that's Microsoft is good on your resume. Even no matter what it is, good on your resume. I know it's expiring in the next couple of months, but you should still have it on your belt. You should still have that certification because a lot of these companies are still doing on-site premise. So that's the reason why I tell people to still study MCSA, and then you could jump over to Microsoft Azure afterwards if you're doing certifications. So because even in my job, they're pushing me to study MCSA, even though we do have some Azure stuff in my environment, but they're pushing me for MCSA because there's a lot of on-site premise stuff going on right now in my job. So just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kev. Sometimes a lot of people are putting this kind of like information. Oh, in the future, everything will be the cloud. Everything will be moving. I think I agree with Danish too. I think when it comes to a medium-sized company, when you already have your system there, why would you want to move in the cloud? Like in the IT, we always have the saying, if it's not broken, you don't fix it. If everything is working well, you don't need to move to the cloud, especially if there's no added advantage at all.
Yeah, that causes time, money, and a bunch of other stuff. It's a lot. It's very involved. Just because you're moving a whole system into cloud. It's very involved, time consuming. There's a lot of money involved. And then also when you're moving stuff, you have to make sure that it actually works with the system that you're moving it to. It's not everything's not going to work 100%. You're going to have issues all the time when you're moving one system to another system.
I just posted the link. Raj, and this is something that we're going to be learning too, probably. I don't have any experience on this side, but this is probably what is something interesting for all of us to put some time in, because what this implies right here, if you look at this image, look at this, it's going straight to Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory domain services on premises. If you see, like now, you go straight over here, but it doesn't, if you don't have it, then maybe you don't need it. Like this is they're saying that maybe it's a scenario just cloud join. So look at this. If they say join only to Azure requiring organizational sign in to device, and then there was another part for this that you can only use cloud only, cloud first or cloud only. Look at this right here. Azure AD joining intended for organizations that want to be cloud first or cloud only. So something I think we all should research, because that's new stuff. I don't have any experience in this. Just like going to cloud, is it? But again, the problem with this is that, is this gonna be as like group policy that we have currently on our premises? At this moment, to my knowledge, I don't think it's a replacement. I don't think it can manage it like the local ones. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. With the new cloud in tune, there's so much going on. You may find that it's possible.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like it depends on your job too, where you're working. Because like some companies use it, some companies don't use it. Some companies are set up differently. So, like I tell people, just like even when you are getting these certifications, like go for what they're asking for. If they're asking for it, then get it. If not, don't get it. But it's still good to have anyway on your resume. So
and I like this document because of this wording, concepts. It makes it a little easy for you to understand which one do you want to learn for, right? Like let's say hybrid, Azure, the register. There's so many different ways to connect these machines these days that it may just kind of like blow your mind for the new people. Like even I'm getting confused. Like, okay, what do you mean by registered devices, right? So, anyways, that's
so we're doing entry level, so we don't want to scare people away. With technology, it gets very complicated.
Yeah, bro, I have another question too. I want to ask you about backup. So you go to the company. Is there any product you can recommend me where they can do automated backup, do incremental backup over time, and do a full image backup? Is there any products? Because
Rubik.
one of my so
Rubik does it. You familiar with that?
no, I never heard of it. I heard there are some companies like Paragon and Reflect and all those other softwares. What is this software about?
So we use in my other job, we use Rubik, and it actually does a backup, and it does an automatic backup, and it actually takes a snapshot of a computer image, and it takes a snapshot of the shared drives, and it takes a snapshot of the Citrix VDI you're running. It does snapshots for everything. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Rubik, but it does that. I used that before in my other job. It was really random, but yeah.
Is it a server only application, or is it just for workstation?
Both. Does it on both.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice, bro. That's nice.
I actually have a shirt. So if you go to one of my old YouTube YouTube videos, I have a shirt of me wearing Rubik. They gave me a shirt. And actually, I was working with them.
But not many people use this type of solution for desktops, normal desktops.
No, it's different. Depends on the environment.
I haven't seen people getting incremental backups of full images for each and every desktop in the company. That would be crazy.
No. It depends on the environment. So they use Rubik for share drives and for files and for servers and stuff like that. It takes snapshots of everything, and then you could go to the Rubik portal and log into it, and then you could actually get a backup from 5 weeks ago or whatever. It does all that. But
how you spell the Rubik's?
It's like a backup of a backup. So there's like solutions implemented with Rubik on top of it. So
is it RUBIX?
How do you spell it, Kev?
Rubik is I think it's RUBICK or something like that. I haven't used it in a really long time. It's like 2 years ago.
You haven't worn your shirt for a long time is what you're trying to say.
Yes. I don't use that thing anymore. So
and if you want to know, some of the enterprise level ones are like Nimble. This is very much used by a lot of big companies. You may come across that. Nimble, NIMBLE. It's a cloud-based backup system. So what they do is they back up. They have you have a server that's running inside your company. It's a big server that you buy from them. So they back up your data inside the server. So let's say you have critical servers, especially we are using what these days? Host and VMs, right? You have main host, which is running what? VMware, vSphere, stuff like that. And then you have these virtual machines that are running your critical systems like domain controllers, other whatever you want to use.
And There's
Yeah.
there's also absence. I don't know if you know what that is. There's also absence. So absence.
What
saves
do you want to do? Are you want to practice on something, or are you trying to
Yeah, what are
learn?
you trying to do? So that's what I would like to know too.
No, because okay, this is what happened. In my company, one of the guy basically his hard drive failed, but his data and everything is gone. So technically, actually, what we do was we have a very old backup server, but the license for the application, we were using a software called Reflect. I think Macrom Reflect. It's quite a popular software. So we're using that as a way to back up every workstation, do a scheduled backup where every day at 12 noon, we do an incremental backup over to the server. So we have a very big, I think, 20 terabyte server, a backup server that just stores all the backup for it. But because the license is over and now we no longer have access to the software, my boss asked me, is there any cheap method of doing it, or is there any free method of doing it where you can do the backup over?
You could download Borlark Advisor. Have you ever heard of that? Does that sound crazy? Does that sound weird?
Let
You know
me
what
let
that
me
is?
let me ask you a few questions. Let me ask you a few questions. Is it what type of operating systems are there? What type of devices are we backing up here?
No, all of them are Windows.
Windows. Okay. I'll give you one enterprise level but open source solutions. Go type your backup solution. It has a very advanced advanced features like that, and it runs by an agent. You have to put a server. I think I made a video on that. You can just go to JavaScript share, type your backup. BACKUP. So just type that, and I made a whole video on that. It may not be the best software out there, but it does give you very advanced solutions like incremental, full images, specific file images, restores, then putting that on an online. Let's say if you want to back it up on an online IP address, you have an IP available that can go outside of your normal network, you can do that. So that's designed for the Windows and Linux. So check it out because it's very easy to use.
Bro, is it very similar to Clonezilla, or is it totally different?
No, it's not. Clonezilla is a what? It's not a what? Clonezilla? Clonezilla is not a backing solution, right? It's an imaging solution. I don't think it's a back. It doesn't do like a live agent type of backing and stuff, right? Clonezilla? Are you talking about that?
No, okay, wait, bro. Okay, the thing is, what's the difference between I thought backup and image. Is it the same thing or two total different things?
What do you mean backup? So the backup image, you're getting exactly the same. When you say the image is being backed up, you're getting the same volume, same structure. It gets backed up like that, right? Unless you want to go for a specific reason, like you say, okay, I just want to get the operating system back up. It may allow you to change the layout on the other machines, but it depends on the applications. Let me share my screen with you. I'm talking about this right now. It's pretty cool. I mean, if people don't know about this, I have used it and it's kind of.
Oh, your backup, yeah.
It's kind of flawless for me. Like I use it for many servers and it would work for me. You know. So you see this, Raj? Raj, can you see my screen?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I see it.
So this is the server. You would install this first on a machine that has a lot of space. Okay. So you would get this on a machine that has a lot of space in there. And then you would go and install this on the client machine. So this could be your other servers that you want to back up. So then what happened is that if you want to restore something, you would need the CD to restore. But it's pretty nice because it's going to work and it has a lot of features in there. Let me go to features right there.
There we go.
You may want to go over the limitations, but it does have all these features in there. Which can do a lot of stuff for you in there. I don't think I did a video on this too. Like jobs.
No, you haven't. I don't think you have.
No, I do. I think I do have something. But it's pretty old. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
You see this right here, Raj?
Yeah, bro.
All you got to do is, and it's in 2011. So forgive me if I.
2011.
This may not be even the same thing, but there's other people that made a video in 2017 right here. So I think you can use that.
So this is entirely free.
entirely free. It's open source.
This is what I use. I want to show you something real quick. Let me share my screen for a second, Danish.
Yep, there.
This is what
That's really cool, bro. Then what's the difference between this and all the big paid platform like Paragon and Acronis and IOMI Backup? What's the difference between this and all this other
support? You don't call your backup for your issues, right? They're gonna be like, what the hell? I'm giving you free stuff and you're calling me right now, right? So they're not gonna do that. So you're paying these big companies, but of course they're more tested. Why? Because they are getting paid, right? So something that's like, if I give somebody this free training for 13 hours, do you expect me to answer someone a question, or somebody's pissed off because I didn't teach it properly in these 13 hours that I give for free? Would you think I would give a damn about that? If somebody really like, I'm so pissed off that you didn't added a person in Active Directory this way and I don't like it, right? Of course I'd be like, you don't like it. Well, what do I do with that, right? So just like with that, if somebody paid me now, of course, if the person said, I didn't get this, can you give me another example? I show another example because you paid me, right? So here, that's the biggest difference that I can talk about. But of course, the code is being tested by proper teams. They're getting paid for this stuff, right? So they're gonna have more developers, all that kind of stuff. So that would be a reason.
Wow. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Thank you so much. Because I was also finding for actual solution that can do for free or maybe for very low price and do whatever like all the big players are doing, like Acronis and IOMI. And
free is always good.
And free is good for your practice too. I mean, that's how we practice in our trainings too, right? We will install all this advanced tools like stuff like that, or we have done like PDQ deployments and stuff like that. Those are stuff like people don't care when you go for IT jobs, but the thing is, this is more like your confidence, right? That's just to build your confidence, and these people can really talk about these things.
You could add those skills in your resume too. It's skills. It's real life skills that show that you know what you're doing, and real life skills that you can add to your resume. And it also shows that you're not just a regular IT support guy. You know, you do more than that. You know, so
Active Directory looks huge. I hope there's a good videos out there to learn it. On YouTube, there's a whole certification courses. The only problem with this type of things are that everybody who is going to be teaching Azure is going to be sticking to Microsoft certification, which is the technique that we've been using. If we have to use our technique to teach the Azure, it's going to take time. Why? Because first, we are new to it too, right? We're not experts in this area. So, but based on how many projects that I have implemented in Azure so far, would give a great value to this learning. And is it easy? Totally not, because now we cannot give labs in Azure, right? There's no hands-on labs in Azure, by the way. We tell people that you have to buy your own trial. You have to give that credit card to them, $200 done, and then you're done basically. No platform right now so far is giving you like free access to, okay, build a 16 GB RAM, or 300 SSD server, and it's gonna charge the company like $500. They will not do that right now.
Yeah, you gotta pay for all that.
Yeah, so it kind of it put a lot of stress on platforms, to be honest. Like right now, I feel like in the future, after 10 years or 15 years, we're gonna have hard time actually giving labs to people or something like that. It's not gonna be easy for us to actually teach stuff. That's where it is a stressful area for us, because right now, of course, on-premises is big, getting into IT is big, and we're okay with that kind of stuff. But tomorrow, if things changes in 10 years, and it has to be a lot with the cloud, it's going to also start hitting people like us too, because then either we will just probably give up because we cannot compete with them, right? Maybe they already have a better solutions, or we may have to switch our platforms into more cloud-based platforms, and then we have to be partners with Microsoft to say, hey, if my member like Roger, hey, if he will you allow him to use your labs for this much money? They're going to say, okay, we're going to charge you $50, and you're going to have to charge Roger this much to make your own money, because that's how it's going to work, right? That's how business works. Mm-hmm. So this is a very hard area for any platforms these days. And if I have to come over here and say, let me teach you guys Azure. First, I may not be teaching you properly because Azure is too big. There's too much for us to learn at the same time. If I have to start teaching this right now, then what happens in that? I have to develop my content. Content takes easily 3 months, by the way. For stuff like this, easily 3 months. Kevtech will be doing this too. Now, consider this not just YouTube videos. Consider this me putting into the platform, editing it, uploading it, approving it, blah, 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 and then making a videos on top of it. It takes easily 3 months. Now, what happens after 3 months? When I finish and I start uploading these videos, all of that content is changed in cloud instantly. They change it every second, third week. Things are getting changed left and right. So we are taking our sweet time right now to show what we can, but we're not going all out on Azure right now. And by the way, we have already started it. We already started the basics in our platform. Like we have lectures getting added every single day, but those are just lectures right now. We want to break the foundational part nicely, and then we're going to go into what we think Azure is missing, and we're going to add our courses on top of that, just like what we did with our 13-hour course or 100 hours on our website, what Kevtech is doing. Later on, you're going to find out that there's going to be too many things that are missing out there. It's too broad for newbies. They cannot get in easily. So we're taking our notes right now. We're like, okay, you know what? This is the problem. This is the area of the problem. And we're going to make a course based on that problems. That's how we're going to do it.
Yeah, this is all entry level stuff. You know, we're trying to help people get jobs. This is what we're focused on. Like, I could start going over servers and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do that, you know, try to help people. So that's why we do these videos and stuff like that. You know?
Do you think that maybe they'll have open source stuff in a couple of years, like the other stuff is now? Do you think somebody will come up with that? Some brainiacs out there, some kids sitting down a cellar someplace is going to go, let's get some open source stuff for cloud and then put that out there. You think that will fly? Or
it's happening? No, it's happening. So I'll give you an example. I don't know if you know about We1 Clouds. Just look into that sometimes. It's called I forgot the name of that, man. I forgot the name. Nebulous or Nebula, something like that. It's a European company, and some of the colleges, some of the big universities have already implemented that solutions in their university because they don't have the money to pay Azure for their stuff. So Nebula already have. OpenStack is another one, right? You guys know about some of them. You may know that. So there are different cloud solutions that are already getting implemented in the universities, colleges, and they're saving lots of money with that. Now, how does it work? You have your hosts. So let's say, for example, I have a vCenter running in my company, and I have already invested, let's say, $15,000 on my equipment, and I know I got the power. I know I got the RAM power. I know I got the storage power. Why would I want to just let go of all that stuff if I can find a open source product that I can just turn the whole vCenter into, like on premises, turn it into a private or public private cloud for myself, for my company, or my university. So that's the solutions that's already there. Is Azure gonna put open source stuff? They're already adding Linux right now. They have already a lot of Linux stuff in there. Azure already have Linux commands running these days, no problem. PowerShell just implemented Linux commands inside PowerShell. So that tells you the story of why things are going to go into that direction. But for Microsoft to go on open source like that, I mean, I don't expect that, man. They want to make money.
Do you know what
even
is coded with? What kind of language?
Well, I don't know the language, but I know they're using Arc. So that's their main. If you want to learn about Azure, what is Azure? It's running the back end of it is Arc, and that's coming. That's why I say that one of my videos that in future, what will happen? You're going to go to Cisco. Cisco will say, oh, do you guys want to buy right now? If you go to Cisco, how do you buy a very powerful equipment from Cisco? What do you say to them? You say what? I need a UCS system, right? It's like a big monster type of hardware. They give you that, and in that system, you have multiple servers inside that one system. So you may have vSphere 1, vSphere 2, vSphere 3, vSphere 4. So right now, that's the solution right now, right? On premises. And you go to Dell, Dell say, we'll give you a big monster type of Dell server. They may have multiple CPUs, multiple servers, like you just, you take it out of that system and nothing will get impacted. You put a new system in there and that's it. So now the new technology that's coming to the market is what? It's the stack technology, okay? So Microsoft is gonna tell Cisco, do you wanna partner with us? Cisco is gonna say, yes, why not? So Cisco is gonna build this product, like this big hardware, and Microsoft will implement this Arc on-premises type of solution inside their system, and then you will go to Cisco and say, okay, how much it is? It's $300,000. So you're gonna buy that whole rack, meaning the whole system, with networking, with a system, with Azure technology for on-premises stuff now, just like vSphere, vCenter technology. But that's not replacing virtualization, by the way. That's basically connecting your on-premises environment to the cloud. And if you're going to use your on-premises with, let's say, your current technology like vSphere, then there's no charge in that. And it's already there. So for example, I wanted to learn this. I went out to the Microsoft. I downloaded this developer stack from there. So right from the developer side, they say that you need to have 120 GB RAM in there. You gotta have at least 2 TB SSD. And then you have to run these gazillion amount of scripts on that server. And then they give you this one stack fully developed for developers. It's very hard to implement right now. And I failed almost 5 times so far.
I gotta get out of here. These guys are calling me. Everyone keeps knocking my door.
Okay. I think that's good enough information right now.
Yeah, it's too much information. I have tickets I want to go over. We'll do it next Saturday. I'll be here live next Saturday. 2 o'clock, same time. All right, guys?
Anyways, thank you so much for joining in, everybody, Steven, everybody in this chat, Raj, Kevtech, and everybody in the chat.
Thank you so much.
So I'm doing a monitor stand setup, and I'm also moving my stuff, and I'm making more space because I'm trying to make an office environment. Trying to make an office environment where I sit right now. Trying to make this look more professional in the back end. So you guys have a great day. I gotta get out of here before I get yelled at because everyone's waiting for me.
Oh.
So you guys have a great day. Stay safe. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Follow Danish. Follow Danish's channel. Follow Steven's channel. Steven has a YouTube channel. And follow my channel as well. So, we'll be live here next week on Saturday, okay? You guys take care. God bless you guys. And stay safe, all right?
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.